Carved in blood and bone, my power is undying. Blessed, cursed? What difference does it make? I walk a path few would dare follow. I am the harbinger of bone.
Are the aspirants.
Carved in blood and bone, my power is undying. Blessed, cursed? What difference does it make? I walk a path few would dare follow. I am the harbinger of bone.
are the aspirants.
Carved in blood and bone, my power is undying. Blessed? Cursed? What difference does it make? I walk a path few would dare follow. I am the harbinger of bone.
We are the aspirants.
Carved in blood and bone, my power is undying. Blessed? Cursed? What difference does it make? I walk a path few would dare follow. I am the harbinger of bone.
are the aspirants.
Carved in blood and bone, my power is undying. Blessed? Cursed? What difference does it make? I walk a path few would dare follow. I am the harbinger of bone.
We are the aspirants.
Carved in blood and bone, my power is undying. Blessed? Cursed? What difference does it make? I walk a path few would dare follow. I am the harbinger of bone.
are the aspirants.
Carved in blood and bone, my power is undying. Blessed? Cursed? What difference does it make? I walk a path few would dare follow. I am the harbinger of bone.
We are the aspirants.
Carved in blood and bone, my power is undying. Blessed? Cursed? What difference does it make? I walk a path few would dare follow. I am the harbinger of bone.
are the aspirants.
Carved in blood and bone, my power is undying. Blessed, cursed? What difference does it make? I walk a path few would dare follow. I am the harbinger of bone.
We are the aspirants.
Carved in blood and bone, my power is undying. Blessed, cursed? What difference does it make? I walk a path few would dare follow. I am the harbinger of bone.
are the aspirants.
Carved in blood and bone, my power is undying. Blessed? Cursed? What difference does it make? I walk a path few would dare follow. I am the harbinger of bone.
We are the aspirants.
Carved in blood and bone, my power is undying. Blessed? Cursed? What difference does it make? I walk a path few would dare follow. I am the harbinger of bone.
Right. Hello, guys, ladies and gentlemen, mainly for the ladies, as I've always said. Welcome back to Queen's Legacy series brought to you by War Drums, of course. And as you can see onto the screen, it's gonna be me and Ones starting off today's match. It's gonna be another BO1, which we have been going on for so long. So let's see the teams today. It's gonna be Team Nevillera versus Vortex Victors. The previous game has a little bit of a walkover, so we'll be starting from the second game directly. So we'll be moving in directly to see how the teams are going to be performing so far. It has been a long run. We have seen how the girls' team have been rising to the top. We are narrowing down. A lot of knockouts already happened. A lot of teams have already wandered off onto the upper brackets as well. We'll be having that today as well. So stay tuned for the last game as the last game too, because yeah, best of three it's gonna be amazing. But for now it's gonna be best of one, like I said. Team Nevillera going against Vortex of Victors. So once girls team,
Yeah,
man, how do you feel?
yeah, I'm feeling great, and it's a shame, that there was a walkover on the first game.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, here we are on to the second game, which is against Vortex, and it will be Team Neverala. So I have not actually seen how Team Neverala they play. I have seen Team Vortex and other teams as well. So this is gonna be my first time to see how
Uh,
Team Nevada they play and their lineup and the females in their team. But yeah, talking about today's game, Debbie, it is a best of one, so there's gonna be a lot of heat as well because it's a best of one. So either you win or lose, there's not gonna be any other chance for you. So you have to give it your all. You have to give your 110%, and you got to win the game no matter what. So yeah,
definitely.
talking about the teams, I can't really put much of a prediction here because I've not seen how
Mm,
the team Neverla they play. But as for Team Vortex, I can vouch for them that they are a strong team as well. So we might get a lot of things to see tonight. But yeah, it seems like there is a lot of heat back well because family is
mm.
always around, and with them. It's a lot of
Okay.
a lot of noises around, but yeah, nonetheless, it's very common. So
I don't really know where that come from, by the way, me neither. But nevertheless, let's add to the business part here. Of course, this is like, we have been starting long ago with the Queen series, and the teams are going slow. I mean, the teams are narrowing down and it's getting better and better. I did not say that the knockout ones are bad. I'm just saying that it's like the tournaments always have been survival for the fittest, and of course, the teams we are going to be seeing right now are also going to be fighting for survival. And those best of ones are direct elimination. So they are going to be looking for a climb back, a ladder to try to take them to the victory they are also waiting for. So, it's going to be an interesting one of that. But you know what, once I think the teams are not ready yet, so we have to discuss about the metas picks here and there. But we are quite familiar with the teams now here, I'm guessing, because we have always seen like those typical heroes for the girls has always already changed up. But I feel like most of the time the CC is very important. The Yisun is also played a lot of time. Hayabusa have a lot of good win rates. The Lancelot doesn't really have that good win rate, but it's still out
mhm.
there. And also we also had a Fanny too, but I'm yet to see out a good Fanny that that can show us what they can do into the best of three series. But we're gonna be heading to that because this time around we'll be directly going to the best of one series. Crux Supreme. It's not gonna be this one, but it's gonna be Team Nevillera going against Team Victress. So let's see what the
Yeah,
draft is gonna be looking like.
yeah. I mean, talking about the draft here, we are seeing the team names being changed here. It'll be fixed in a while, but yeah, no
Mm-hmm.
problem. We can always figure out which team is which. And talking about the teams here, Debbie, it seems like the first team here they're already coming up with the Obsidia ban as well as the Bane ban. So a pretty solid ban for the first draft of the game. Here comes the Grog ban as well. But yeah, talking
Uh-huh.
about the ban, you always have to prioritize these high damage, high crowd control heroes like Grog and Bane because they are so good. And you
Mm-hmm.
always gotta get rid of these kind of heroes that can put so much pressure in team fight, especially the Grog, with his tectonic charge as well as his kid, that he has. And as for the Bane, I am a big fan of Bane these days because
Yeah,
he's just very popular on the mage build and can basically one shot most of the squishy
yeah.
heroes with just his merely his second skill. So that is pretty broken as well. We might see a nerf
Yeah.
coming soon in the upcoming patches. Until then, you can enjoy the Bane as much as you want.
Definitely true. So this time around, I feel like the CC is completely left open. Like I said, these are solid bans. The glue is also kind of a hero that is easily spammable into the lane, even against the CC. If the CC goes into the goal, that is, mean XP. I mean, this time around, Team Nevalera, they have a hero to grab, and it's the Angela they prioritize on rather than the CC. So Vortex Victress, if they want to pick out the CC here, it will be a very, very solid one at that too. But the Basha is still open out there. But the thing about the girls' team is that they don't really prioritize onto those Bashas. They
Mhm.
really want to use the. I mean, they don't really want to combo the Baksha. They are more well versed in playing the Xbox into the jungle when they are against the Basha instead. So that is also one of the reason, one of the an answer for any kind of Basha that can come through, so they can completely ignore that. But now Vortex Victors, they are picking up the edits. So rare to see this hero, but it still can be a flex, a room or XP. But nevertheless, they're gonna pick out the Camilla. So at this XP, right?
Yeah, I mean, talking about the picks, we are seeing a really interesting comp coming up from the side of Vortex. But then again, talking about Nevalera, they have picked away the Angela, which is a bit risky. Going off for a first pick, Angela is a bit risky because you've already exposed your roamer, you have shown your roam card, so they
Uh,
know that they have a support. So now they can actually counter that support, and they can go for something later on like a tank that can easily benefit the team more compared to a support who provides heal and shield, such as the Angela. You can come up with crowd control tanks,
mm,
setup tanks like Tigrel. It can open, slots for those kind of tanks because now you know that they cannot go for counter pick. Once they have logged the Angela, they can't pick the Akai, they can't pick Diggy, they can't pick, heroes that counters setup heroes. And yeah, talking about setup,
uh,
here comes, Vortex. They're coming up with really solid picks. They're coming with the Edith.
mm,
Edith, such a versatile hero that can be played onto the
yeah.
EXP or the goal lane as well. We never know. And the fact that she deals so much damage despite being a tank, it's really good. But
Uh,
then again, I really love the combo that Vortex they're coming up here. They're coming up with the Carmilla as well as the Vexana, a very classic combo. If we talk about the mid here, yeah, talking about a team Neverla as well. They have picked the Fusion, and that Fusion is going to be really troublesome for the Edith because they're basically short range hero, and
uh,
for the formula as well. But yeah, talking about Team Neverla, they have the Nathan as well, and as you already know, Debbie, that the Nathan is a late game monster in this meta. Skills into the late game, and can absolutely obliterate any hero in 1v1, especially if you're squishy. His magic damage is just absurd.
Definitely. And I think most of the time you go against an Atan trying to get the assassins, and I think Vortex, they are the one actually betting at the assassin. That is the Lancelot. The Hayabusa is still open, so they can pick it up if they want to try to counter on the Jushin as well as the Natan too. This is a very high damage, like I already mentioned, for the late game. But the Leslie could be an answer because the Leslie have been finding a lot of good win rate into this tournament, definitely, because she has been quite a popularity. And well, most of the Leslie that we have seen have had a win all the time, and it's most of the time it's also against an Natan, which is kind of ironic. But hey, like you mentioned, it's gonna be the expert for the side of Team Nevalera, a very very solid one. But to be honest, I think there's not much of a tankiness that the expert can excel in, because we have seen it cannot really be that main frontliner. She's kind of, we talk about it, it's more of a damage type of tank. So I
Indeed.
can definitely see a little bit of a hesitancy, coming through from the Xbox as well. But nevertheless, the sustain is gonna be good. The Esmeralda is gonna be the pick that they wanna go for. And this calm, I think it's good, but there's not much of a heal coming, a seal coming through from the side of Vortex Victors, which the Esmeralda can prioritize on. And I don't really think it's really good. But last pick is what the call is gonna be. But if they want to go for Assassin into the jungle, okay, there
Ooh,
we go. The Amon instead of the Hayabusa against an Xbox. So I feel like Vortex wanted to play this Amon in a sneaky way, which is the way to play the Amon.
exactly. I mean, Debbie, talking about Team Navarrela, I feel like, they
Ah,
have a really solid draft here because if you take a look at the draft, they have the Xborg, which is definitely going to be the jungler, and the Xborg is going to perform so well against the Carmilla, the Edith, as well as the Amon because Xbox
mm,
is basically the counter pick for tanks, and there is just a lot of tanks onto the side of Vortex. And talking about as you've already mentioned, like Edith, she's not much of a tank. She's like a semi tank, and her job is mostly to deal damage, not to absorb damage. And as for the
yeah.
Carmela as well, her main role is a support slash tank. So picking the Carmela as well won't provide much tanking,
Mm,
neither set up because her only crowd control is a second skill, and
mm,
the chain, from the Curse of Blood. So that's it.
yeah.
They don't have heavy crowd control, and yeah, talking about Team Navarrela on the opposite side, they have that Nathan, they have that Angela as well as the Jujin. These three are going to be so much problem for the side of Team Vortex. And in the late game, there can easily be
Five
melting
seconds
away
till the
those
enemy
tanky
reaches the
front lines from the
battlefield.
side of Vortex as
Smash
well.
them!
But yeah, Debbie, we are back
All
into the
troops
game. We are heading
deployed!
straight into the land of dawn. Take us right in.
Yep, let's head into the Land of Dawn, ladies and gentlemen. Here we are bringing you the best of one series yet again onto your screen. Team Neverland will be onto the blue side, and Vortex Victors will be onto the red side. It's nothing too unserious, but we're gonna be seeing how the teams are gonna be performing as of now. A lot of good combination coming through, but you know what? Once there's a lot of loopholes in both the draws, so I'm excited to see how they're gonna be performing because Macro is one of the best factor for the girls team right now. But hey, bottom lane though, there's gonna be a little bit of a bully happening for Nezuko right now, taking out a lot of damage with 3 members onto the bottom lane. She got to play it safe into the tower.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, this is what you need, You gotta create early game pressure onto your side lanes, especially the goal and the EXP. And this is what Navarrela they're doing. They're giving the Leslie a hard time because they know that the Leslie, she's not gonna be of any use until the late game. But then again, look at the bot lane. It seems like, there's a lot of reinforcement coming up to the side of Nezuko. And yeah, it's just gonna be a little of poke through and fro there. But then again, talking about Team Navarrela, I do feel like they have a really solid draft, a better draft indeed
Mm.
compared to that of Vortex. And yeah, look at the mid lane though. It seems like the Amon is trying to look for a kill, but will not be successful. So we'll just try to sneak into the jungle and see if she can get any kind of farm or invade. But then again, look at that. Just use this camouflage to sneak out right under the nose of that Esme.
That's what you can do with this stealthy assassin like the Amon here. But the thing about the Team Valera is that they have ways to try to cancel out the camouflage state because they do have that Crimson Beacon and the displacement effect as well with the
Indeed.
lantern, the lantern also, and of course the bond coming from Ayla too. That is definitely gonna be one of the biggest factor here right now. But to the start of the turtle is definitely gonna be a contest coming through. Bromo not being able to take that. Ayla able to grab the turtle. Bromo might be in trouble first, but already drawn. She's onto the run, but Nevilera will be able to chase. That's gonna be the
Oh,
Eternal Golden onto the back line as well. The last Insanity being popped, and not much net damage coming through from Ayla just yet. But to the other side, he might be in trouble though. Taken very low for Buki, grabbing that last kill for the skirmishes.
Debbie, this is what I was talking about. Theirs is gonna give Team Vortex a really hard time because their draft is just not complementing each other. And I feel like Team Navarrela they can actually snowball really well into the early, late, as well as the mid game, no matter what, because they have a kind of a composition that will help them dominate the game throughout the late, mid, and late as well. But then again, look at the entropy on the Nathan being popped there just to chase away the Leslie out of the side there. Ooh.
Yeah, I think it's more, the entropy into the early phases, you kind of use it as a way to clear up. But hey, there might be an engage coming through. That's gonna be the displacement coming in, as well as the stars into Navilera. Will not be taken down. Kylie will be able to grab another kill as well. The last insanity also being popped to Ayla onto the backside. Not much of a damage coming in. That's gonna be a card control coming through as well. Eternal God and not dealing a lot of damage, but the ultimate snipe onto the
Oh
backline. It's not
no!
taken down. What was that,
Oh
Patty?
my
That
god!
was that they grabs the power that comes through with the Vexana. Oh my goodness, what just happened right there?
Oh my god, Debbie, I did not pay attention to Pari actually. Pari on the Vixana,
Yeah.
she threw a flame shot. I did not see that, but yeah, that flame shot definitely played out really, really well for them. They got a kill out of it, and the Leslie with the sniper as well. It seems like Nezuko, on the Leslie, she's actually using her blood demon art really well,
Yeah.
and sniping off low target HPs with that sniper. But then again, Debbie, look at this. It seems like there's gonna be a fight stirring up right here into the turret. I mean the turtle, and there's a lot of zoning coming up from the team. From Navera Lad, they're creating so much space for the jungle, and look at that, just so
Yeah.
much control.
There's gonna be a damage for good Fubuki onto the backline, trying to grab kill onto Broma as well. They are onto the chase. Meow might be in trouble with Doghouse coming through, but they turn around and able to save a teammate onto the backlines. There's gonna be another one coming through. Flicker Kaylin able to gun down Nezuko. That's gonna be one thing that they're gonna be finding compensation with. The turtle into their hands, but it's definitely gonna be a gain for the side of Team Nevilera. They know what they are doing because the bottom lane is also definitely onto the focus, and they are trying to take it down as well.
Oh my gosh, Team Navara Lad are doing so well. Look at the ball lane as well. They get the
Oh,
Carmilla, and that is just another kill. The kill goes to our Angela nonetheless, but yeah, it still benefits the team. But yeah, talking
yeah.
about Venezuela, look at them. They're creating such a good lead onto their side. They have 7 kills, and they have built up around 3K goal lead actually right now. So that is actually really good for them. And talking about the Angela, I feel like the Angela as a roamer, she's doing quite well because she does not need to do any tanking for the team. She just has to provide the shield and the heal, and the tanking, it's left for the EXP and the Xborg. But yeah, look at the Esme, being such a good frontline as well, cutting off the waves and trying to create pressure so they can push the lane onto the top lane there.
The thing about Meow is that she is on a vengeance, so there's no way for her to survive. But hey, nevertheless, that's gonna be a Crimson Bacons into the backline as well. That's the last sanity connecting on the two member. And Meow will be taken down by Fubuki. The turret is onto the focus yet again, and Navilera will be finding every compensation that they are looking for. Meanwhile, onto the bottom lane, that's gonna be the M1 trying to go in a 1v1 situation with Kylene. But yeah, she have the turtle buff, man. She's gonna be able to survive. But Nezuko right now, not in a good situation. Guy trying to get a lethal shot onto Nevilera might be in trouble. Flicker has to be popped yet again. The ultimate snipe connecting onto Nevilera. So will she be able to pull down one more shot? But it's gonna be the flash that saved her life, and Bromo will have to walk away because there's no way you'll be able to join in, try to get into the team fight as well. But there's gonna be the crowd control coming through as well. The last sanity into the backline with the Angela's ultimate coming in as well. Bromo taken down. Fubuki able to grab that kill, but behind the turret, that's gonna be Vortex chased away from their own turret mid lane, holding down Nevilera again. All the compensation into their hands. The 3 turrets down, the outer turrets all gone for the side of Vortex.
Oh, that was a really good team fight, and they got the most out of it. No casualty whatsoever. And I feel like there is definitely a huge difference in the drafting because Team Vortex, they have an Amon, and an Amon can't really do anything against this kind of composition because an Amon is basically an assassin. Oh my god, Debbie, look at that. Look at the crimson. Look
Oh,
at everything that
hey,
they're
looks
doing.
like. Okay. I thought they were trying to go for more man. There was if Nevilera had been, the good amount of mana, she would have gone in there. But I think whenever Team Nevilera are trying to go for the fight, the last insanity is not the initiator, right? It's more of a kill secure executioner. She's the one going down to the loss, but Fubuki has been amazing in going and tanking all the damage and sustaining and dealing out the damage as well onto this Esmeralda.
Yeah, I mean the Esme, She is too tanky, and if you combine the Esme and the Angela, it's just too good. And you can't really take her down because Angela provides shields, and Esme is the kind of hero that turns shields into HP. So if you give her shield, that is basically going to convert into HP. And look at this, look at that! Oh
Oh
my god!
no, buddy, man, I'm not really. Stacy doesn't really have the flicker or ways to try to survive the last insanity. He's on the flames, but nevertheless, that's gonna be the curse of block connecting onto three members, but at what cost? Because Kylan will be the one taking her down. They're trying to go for more. That's gonna be the disease, and not connecting onto the one just yet. This Zuko might be in trouble, but the Holy Seal is gonna be blasted upon without the Lord into their side. Nevilera, they are heading through the Lord. Now they are trying to go find the good compensation, good footing with what they are having right now. All the gold leads into their hands. It's 9k once. It's 9k.
That is just a huge lead, that Novellara they've built for themselves, and there's just no way that Vortex they can close this gap because they have no damage, they have no items this time around, and they can't really do anything. They're just being pressurized to a point where they are just diminishing one by one, and there is nothing they can do about it. They can't really retaliate. And the fact that they have a Leslie is very, very heavily item reliant, and she can't really deal damage without having those items such as the BOD, the Malefic Gun, and the Sky Piercers to take down these tanky, front line that they have. But then again, look at this, another fight,
Lost
another
Sanity onto the back line. Ayla able to grab the killing spree yet again. Another curse of blood onto 5 members. But Ayla, you gotta get out there. That's gonna be the shot we connecting onto her. But the Faraka armor is still out there available to try and save us. But then again, the mid lane inhibitor is already taken down. The Natan still healthily available. All of the side of Team Nevilera, they have ways to try to focus with this Lord. They are trying to go in for more. That's gonna be Nezuko trying to do some damage, but it will be taken very low. One hit down for Pookie, able to grab the unstoppable onto the Leslie, but they are trying to go for more. The Lord's still healthy. The base is onto the focus. That's gonna be the last insanity yet again. Onto the backline, trying to pop to get out the damage, but the heal is still out there. Nevilera onto the backline, taking very low, but it's gonna be the Esmeralda taken down, but the base is completely wide open. Team Nevilera will be able to win out this best of one series, stomping
Victory!
Vortex Victress down.
Wow, this was actually a really clean game, and the execution and the draft coming up from the side of Team Varela, it is just so good. And I really love the fact that they drafted their draft really well. It really complemented each other. Actually, if you talk about the draft for the late game and the early game, they definitely had the Xborg, the Zhujian, and the Esme as well for the early to mid game to pressure Team Vortex. And as for the late game, it's definitely the Nathan, and they
Yeah.
played this out really well. But yeah, talking about Team Vortex, Debbie, I do feel like there was a huge difference in the drafting because take a look at their draft. They have a Carmela, they have Leslie,
Mhm.
Edith, as well as the Nathan for their jungler. I feel like I'm not Nathan actually. My bad. It's actually Eamon. And talking about the Eamon in this kind of a draft, Nathan is not gonna work. The Jujin
Yep.
is a big counter for heroes like Nathan because for the
Mhm.
Amon actually. Why am I saying Nathan again and again? It's because my eyes is just so fixated on the Nathan.
Yeah.
But yeah, nonetheless,
Like,
this Fusion is actually such a big counter for this Eamon because she has the Lantern Flare, she has a Crimson Beacon, and as you
mhm.
mentioned earlier, the burning effect from the glowing one, it is a big counter for the Eamon because once it start burning, it can actually close the camouflage of the Eamon, so that is a big drawback for the Amen. But yeah, nonetheless, this is it. This is the result right in front of your screen. And Debbie, if you want to add anything to it, please just go ahead and do.
Yeah, I was just gonna add that you got a crush on Kayleen, bro. Kylie.
Yeah.
Because you keep saying the Natan. Never mind. But yeah, I think Team Nebulera really got the Nebulera with the with the Jushin, man. Yeah, that's what we're all gonna be having because best of one series is always gonna be fast paced, brawly. Mind don't mind if I do. But yeah, we're gonna be coming back for the next one at after the break. So yeah, we will not be changing. It's gonna be once and me still. So stay tuned for the next one as well.
Carved in blood and bone, my power is undying. Blessed, cursed? What difference does it make? I walk a path few would dare follow. I am the harbinger of bone.
We are the aspirants.
Carved in blood and bone, my power is undying. Blessed, cursed? What difference does it make? I walk a path few would dare follow. I am the harbinger of bone.
We are the aspirants.
and bone, my power is undying. Blessed? Cursed? What difference does it make? I walk a path few would dare follow. I am the harbinger of bone.
We are the aspirants.
Carved in blood and bone, my power is undying. Blessed? Cursed? What difference does it make? I walk a path few would dare follow. I am the harbinger of bone.
We are the aspirants.
Carved in blood and bone, my power is undying. Blessed? Cursed? What difference does it make? I walk a path few would dare follow. I am the harbinger of bone.
We are the aspirants.
Carved in blood and bone, my power is undying. Blessed? Cursed? What difference does it make? I walk a path few would dare follow. I am the harbinger of bone.
We are the aspirants.
bone, my power is undying. Blessed? Cursed? What difference does it make? I walk a path few would dare follow. I am the harbinger of bone.
We are the aspirants.
Carved in blood and bone, my power is undying. Blessed? Cursed? What difference does it make? I walk a path few would dare follow. I am the harbinger of bone.
We are the aspirants.
blood and bone, my power is undying. Blessed, cursed? What difference does it make? I walk a path few would dare follow. I am the harbinger of bone.
We are the aspirants.
Cecilia.
Oh,
Oh,
slowly
it's like double
transitioning.
it, yeah. Yeah.
So you are sewing this.
Carved in blood and bone, my power is undying. Blessed, cursed? What difference does it make? I walk a path few would dare follow. I am the harbinger of bone.
We are the aspirants.
bone, my power is undying. Blessed? Cursed? What difference does it make? I walk a path few would dare follow. I am the harbinger of bone.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we are back again for another round of a best of one series. But this time around, we'll be having new teams. I mean, not really new for the tournament, of course, but new for the lower brackets. Right now, we have Huntrix, who will be going against Yaratin Beach Club. Yeah, that's the name, and I like it and dig that name. So let's head right directly into the drafting phase because I think ones cannot really wait for what the picks are gonna be, right?
Yeah, I really cannot wait. And yeah, just look at this. We are already into the drafting phase. We have Huntrix on the left, and we have Yarchin Bish Club on the left. I mean, on the right. And yeah, they're already coming up with pretty solid standard bans, which is going to be the Kadita, the Bane, as well as the Carmilla. The Carmilla is a pretty situational hero. I wouldn't consider banning her. But considering the fact that this is a girls' tournament, girls really love playing Carmilla Rome. So, banning her out is quite smart because girls. So that's like a pretty predictable ban. But yeah, look at this, Debbie. We also have a CC ban coming up from the side of Yarch and Bish Club. It seems like they do not want to deal with that little menace from the CC because, CC is really good EXP. She deals so much damage while sustaining so much, damage from the enemies as well. But, yeah, Debbie, you can just go ahead and talk a bit if you want to.
Crazy enough because the CC, like I already mentioned, is like already a very very good hero for the XP. But then again, she have been in the meta. It is a meta where the fighter XP laners, fighter what am I saying? Fighter goal laners have been a very very important and a winnable situation as well. But we have yet to see a fighter into the gold lane from this tournament so far. So I'm kind of not expecting the CC to be open anytime soon. But still, Huntrix, they have the first pick right now with the Angela band, the CC band, which are one of the two of the most first pick heroes that we have seen so far. I was pretty sure that they were gonna go for the Yi Sun Sun, but no, they were like, yeah, we want the Florin instead. The unstoppable heal, the amount of heal that the Florin provides is definitely gonna be a savior for the team fights most of the time. So this time around, Yarichin Bish clubs. I think they need to pick up something here. Ooh, Lenstart. So Huntrix,
Ooh,
they are
okay.
calling the pickle, right?
Wow. Debbie,
These,
I'm loving the draft coming up from the side of
yeah.
YBC already. The Lancelot and the Mino, pretty solid, and I really want to see how this Lancelot is going to be executed onto our player, which is none other than Nexon. So Nexon is going to be the one who's going to play this Lancelot. But yeah, talking about Huntrix, they have the Florin, which
Uh,
really complements a utility jungle. So there might be a utility onto their side. We might actually see a Xborg if I'm not wrong, because I feel like this time around, the only pick that they can go for, which is balance and safe for them, could be a Xborg because the Xborg deals a massive damage right off the early game and can be played very versatilely as well. So yeah, I feel like the only hero that can fit into this comp is going to be the Xborg that will complement the Florin much better than the Fred or any other utility jungle.
uh-huh. I think this is why the Lancelot holds a very, very important factor. Even if you are onto the red side, you are bound to pick out into the first phase and get away with it too. Because he kind of it is kind of a hero that can stop, the Yi Sun Sun to appear as well. Because at one point at a time, it comes down to the player's skill, so you cannot really take your chances. But now I think with the first sub pick already, the mid lane is definitely gonna be a good one for the side of Huntrix, which is what I like. But if you combine it together with the Florin, it's definitely not the best choice because the Florin, when you play together a Florin and a mate, they do not really have the greatest clear. But still, it's for YBC to decide what the mate is gonna be for their mid lane. So it's still definitely gonna be a chance out there. But the bans coming through for the side of YBG, they are gonna be removing a lot of gold lanes here. The Brody has to go. They already picked out the Irithel, so it's kind of it's kind of like normal that they actually went for the Brody because Brody is
Yeah.
kind of a very, the first hero that you can think of when you see an Irithel. So very valid. But look at that though, Huntrix. They removed the Elise.
Alice, I actually do not see how Alice is gonna fit in this kind of composition. But
Um,
considering the fact that Alice is still a pretty decent EXP laner, which can sometimes be played as a mid lane mage as well, because I often like to do that when we're playing 5 men. So I
um,
do like sometimes throw her in and squeeze her into the mid lane, and sometimes she performs exceptionally well. So I feel like they are trying to avoid a tanky lineup, because if the Alice is thrown into this kind of a draft in YBC's lineup, it's going to be too tanky and they can't really spread them. Considering the fact that they have a Teresa, a Florin, and a Farsa. But yeah, two cards are still left from the side of Huntrix. They are yet to reveal their goal as well as their hyper card. So there's still a little hope for them in the draft. But then again, yeah, talking about YBC, I feel like their draft is so well, well made, because they have the Lancelot, and the Lancelot is gonna be able to shred the Florin and the Farsa quite
um,
easily right off the early game. Might
yeah,
not be able to kill, but after one or two items, will be easily taking them down. So they really have to watch out for the Lancelot, especially the Florin. So, they
yeah.
have to be really careful. But yeah, Debbie, look at this. Another solid pick being
Oh,
thrown into the draft of IBC. They are going with the Badang. The Badang is such a versatile hero as well. But from the
mm,
draft, we are sure of that Badang. He's going to be played onto the EXP. And I really love the fact that, they're going for such great initiators from the side of
yeah,
YBC to complement the Lance and the Irithel. The fact that the Minotaur can go in with the Flicker combo, initiate with the
yeah.
Minoan Fury, can provide a lot of great crowd control for them. And oh my god,
Oh,
look
what?
at this, Debbie. Wow, another Hanabi pick coming up from the side of Hunter. Just as we've talked the past few days that this is a
Mm,
girl tournament, so we're gonna be expecting a lot of Hanabi picks. And actually, I'm not surprised anymore to see the Hanabi, because
yeah.
I feel like this is something that we're gonna keep seeing even in the near future. So yeah, the Hanabi is a expected pick if we talk about this tournament, because the tournament itself, it is literally named the Queen's Legacy series. So
Of
the
course.
Queen, the Dark System Queen Hanabi, has to be present here. So yeah.
That's dark
Yeah.
system queen. But yeah, it's always there every game that we have seen. But yeah, the almost teams that prefers to go for the Granger, the Claw. So yeah, it's still out there, but Hanabi is still kind of a hero that is very squishy. You don't have the mobility, you have the Purify, of course, but there is a last lot we're talking about that is always gonna be diving in, and I am scared to actually for Huntrix. There's no pure answer for the Lancelot. I like the Yason Sin though, to be honest, because he does have the traces to have to, survive all of those crowd controls that can come through from the side of YBC. Like you mentioned already, they have the Badan, they have the Minotaur, a lot of crowd control, and the follow up damage that can come together with the Odette as well. That's gonna be one of the amazing setups they are trying to look good for. But Huntrix, the thing about their pick is that they do have a Florin, which can neuter all the damages, but they got to secure that first turtle against the Lancelot. Because if you give out the Lancelot the first turtle, he's definitely gonna be snowboarding out of nowhere. And the thing about the Lancelot also is that when he is able to get the priority onto the mid side, he's definitely always gonna
Five
be winning
seconds
out.
till the
So
enemy
let's see
reaches the
what the game is
battlefield.
gonna be looking
Smash
like,
them!
because ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we'll be heading into the land of Dawn yet again because two new teams already arriving into this place. Huntrix going against YBC, Yaritin Beach Clubs, by the way, and we'll be seeing what they can do with the picks that they have right now. A lot of heavy composition and a good healing coming through for the side of Huntrix, but yeah, unconventional pick into the goal lane though.
Yep. I mean, Debbie, talking about the draft that Huntrix they have right now, I feel like they're gonna have a really hard time against YBC because Yarchin Beach Club have such a good draft, and they can easily dominate Huntrix. Huntrix, I feel like the only damage dealer that they have in the early game is the Shin, who is going to deal consistent damage. And if we talk about consistent damage, there's not many consistent damage from the side of Huntrix in the early game. Of course, they have the Terizla, which can deal quite a few damage with that hammer, but then that hammer is quite easy, to dodge, considering the fact that they have heroes like the Iritel, the Badang, and the Lancelot. So that's going to be really hard for the, for the Terizla as well to land those kills shot. But yeah, if we take a look at the lineup that YBC they have, look at this. Oh my god, look at the mid lane already. So much going on, wing by wing use, as well as the flicker to get into the safety. A lot of resource being spent right off the early game from the mid lane of Huntrix there.
Yeah, that's what you do when you have a presence into the mid side. But Blueberry right now trying to go in for the damage, but not in level 4 just yet. So you have to walk away a little bit of a goal behind if you compare it to Nixon right now onto the Lancelot. But this is what you do when you are onto the fusions. You've got to be careful, especially into the early phases when you do not really have your Mountain Stalker, because that's the main damage potential that you're going to be doing right now. But Nixon onto the mid lane trying to dive in with the Sword Roast, not able to get anything onto Ayaki, but this is definitely going to be a gain for them because one lone member down. The other, what is he trying to do? Because the stun is connecting and the Mountain Stalker as well. The Feather Airstrike committed to, not hinting onto anyone. The Flicker will be used by Althea to survive, but there's going to be a second response of the time with immunity as well. Next time able to grab that first blood onto Yuki, and that's going to be again they're looking for the turtle. Is definitely going to be free into the side of YBC.
Wow, YBC already coming up with such a great early game here. They have secured the first blood and now the turtle as well. So this is looking like a pretty solid early game for them. But yeah, look at this. Oh my god.
With the Fury, another knocks coming through. Bloom, not enough connection. Grabbing another kill, but Yuki able to trade it out with Althea, taking down again the other gun. But here's a rumor, but it's gonna be the jungle who grabbed that kill. So 2 kills onto the head. Nexon trying to go for more. That's gonna be the wings being popped. Yuki have to move away from safety there, but onto the top lane as well. That's gonna be a 1v1 situation. Empty right now. And 1 hit is gonna be enough. So taking Kiyomi down, and that's gonna be the game that they're looking for. Huntrix right now onto the bottom lane. They are trying to focus here, but that's gonna be the Mountain Stalker with the Vision Priya already spotted away. There might not be any gates just yet because the Mountain Stalker is still available for grabs, but Q Lin, I think you got to be careful here, not connecting the Mountain Stalker. It's gonna be wasted in now, but yeah, it's gonna be a very, very slow game as of now.
Yeah, I mean, they had a really good early game, I would say, with the turtle and first blood being secure, but then they kind of risked it out. But yeah, look at this.
Oh, Priya might be in trouble. Never mind, it's gonna be Lin. The ticket very low. The wheel is connecting as well. This one song already committed. Blueberry into the midst of it all, getting caught upon. Priya will be able to take her down, but a lot of low HP coming through for both of the sides. There's gonna be one engage, but still in favor of YBC.
Wow, YBC, the power couples are actually doing really well. The Odette, being a mid, not in the, not in the mid, actually, just helping with the ganking. On the other hand, the Lance just chunking down the goal from the goal.
And then the wall connecting again, Blueberry! Looking down with a killing tree yet again. Yuki, another one. She does have the wing by wing. Next Sun, they get really long. With the front rows, able to give multiple kill, but also onto the behind, trying to go onto Althea as well. Does not have the penalty done readily enough. Will be able to pop out the Vengeance, but the heal is connecting. Priya able to help his team, but onto the mid side, there's gonna be a dive into as well. And the Phantom Execution onto next one. She have the ways to survive. Will she be able to? But then again, Sorrows with the immunity, one more hit and shut down. Blueberry able to grab that kill onto Nexon, but then again, what calls what the turtle is doing out there? Huntrix, will they be able to set this up?
Yeah, I feel like this time around, Huntrix, they might be able to contest this turtle because there is no jungler onto the side of YBC. But then again, Debbie, look at this. The Minnow
Oh, that's gonna be the
fury,
swan
the Swan
song as well
Song.
as the blue will be connecting as well as Thea. Will be able to grab that kill onto the backline. Lean taking down Ayaki as well, but that's gonna be the turtle. Go to the focus. Then again, Mountain Stalker being used, but onto the backline. It's gonna be the penalty zone. So taken down, stun instead. There's gonna be a dive coming through from Nexon yet again. Althea
Oh,
able
the
to grab
Swan
next to Blueberry in trouble. Traceless, one hit away. Will CP falling down. Yes. Lin will be taking her down yet again. Turtle kills all into the hands of YBC, and this time around they're trying to focus onto the mid lane. Yet again, Nexon unkillable right now, trying to dive in. That's gonna be a death coming through with the Fender execution as well. But yeah, it's gonna be a zone, and they will be able to take down the mid turret yet again.
Oh my god, YBC, you are just on absolute domination right now. I really love the fact that, Nexon is playing the land
Yeah.
so well, executing it so
Oh.
perfectly. And man, I do have to say that I do play the lands a lot, and I have
Mm-hmm.
played like nearly 5 matches, and I have a hundred
Oh.
percent win rate. But then I'm not proud of it because I'm not a fast hand. And next,
Uh-huh.
despite being a girl, plays the
Okay,
land way
talking
better
about
than me. But
fast hand, that's gonna be the swan song yet again, and the minion fairy, but Blueberry able to grab the shutdown kill. Priya taken down, Glean also falling again, but Nexon is entering to the picture here. The death is coming through as well, taking a kill on Blueberry. She was trying to dive into more, but no, this is still available. Yuki and Ayaki trying to clear it out with all the scripts that they have. What is happening? Nexon is unstoppable here at this point. She's trying to go for more, but yeah, you got to walk away, man. Go home. That's not gonna be something that you can mess around with.
Yeah, I feel like YBC they're actually overextending a bit, but then again, look at this traceless.
Oh,
Oh, the phantom execution being used to get into safety. And Nexon actually here displaying her skills. And if we talk about the items here, that we can see that the items are right here in front of our screen. Oh my god.
and these guys don't want you to talk, man, because there's gonna be another engage. Takamori taking down another one. Ayaki in trouble. That's gonna be the heavy crossbows being taught to basic attack yet again. Able to get that kill down on the top lane. There must be something happening because two members down. Althea Kiyomi taken down by Blueberry with 4 kills onto the board yet again. A trade out of evens, but Turtle cannot be started by both of the teams because what the jungle is still available. But then again, the map pressure is still in favor of YBC.
The map pressure is definitely in their favor because they have managed to take down 2 turrets, which is going to be from the bot and the mid lane, but as well as the goal lead that they've built up. They have merely 2.4k goal lead against Team Huntrix. And
Yeah.
if you take a look at the items, Debbie, we can see the itemization. We can see already the Irithel with 2 items, which is going to be the Windtalker and the Haskell. So that's like one of her core items, 2 of her core items, and now she's rushing. Oh my god!
And Fury, yes again! That's gonna be the combination coming through. So will not be able to survive. Killing spree for Lin. Turret down. 2 members down for the side of Huntrix yet again. Man, this YBC, they knew what they are doing because Ayaki cannot really go anywhere near 1v1 situation. Nexon going blue against Blueberry. 1v1 yet again. One more hit, but she will be able to survive with the help of the turtle buff. But blue buff is in jeopardy and taken away by Blueberry. Man, that was a little bit of a compensation that they are looking for.
Wow, Blueberry. I think Blueberry is starting to come online here because despite the fact
Yeah.
that they're behind, I think the Blueberry is doing really well on the Ascension, but then again, never mind. Oh, look at the Florin with the save, with the bloom. Just puts back the HP back onto full almost.
That is the bloom's power, the heal that she have. The thing about Huntrix is that if they try to go for the team fights, they won't actually win out because this is Priya onto the Minotaur that she's able to use that hero for a disengagement. But hey, he's trying to go in onto Yuki, able to chunk out her HP. But hey, there's gonna be another gauge coming through. The Bears have been used again. The Minion Fury as well. This one song will cancel away. Penalty zone onto 4 members into the backline. That's gonna be King dying to survive and able to get the kill, but she will be able to get another one kill, double kill, one more hit. Will she be falling down? Yes, that's gonna be a triple kill again. Irithel onto the chase, or onto the other hand, Blueberry able to get down Nexus. That's gonna be a trade of all spades, but onto the other hand, Blueberry, she walked the line of the enemy, able to recall in a safe zone.
Oh my god, what was YBC doing with that team fight? They just do not care. Even about the turrets, they do not care. Like, even if the enemies are in the turret, they just want those kills.
Yeah.
They are so bloodthirsty, and they're ignoring everything. Man, just look at this. Look at the Lancelot. Look at Nexon going with the Sky Piercer on a Lancelot. This is actually very bold of Nexon, to go for a Sky Piercer, but then again, Debbie, look at this.
A
So
hit,
much
another
skirmish
instant,
going
it's gonna
on.
be a stun, and the Batang Kiyomi able to grab that kill onto Ayaki as well, but that's gonna be the penalties onto the backline too. Lin, will she be able to survive? Yes, double kill onto her hands. He's trying to go for the chase, but Nixon will be able to grab the lob onto the other hand. Blueberry, yet again, trying to perform some miracles, will be taking shots and shots here again. That's gonna be her onto the run, taken down finally. Legendary for Chi Lin onto this Irital. The Lord is into their hands. YBC, they look like they are trying to knock onto their door and invite it.
Yeah, wow. YBC, they're doing exceptionally good. And look at the Lancelot. We can see the itemization.
Eh?
She has actually the War Axe, the Bloodwing, and the Sky Piercer, which is crazy. But nonetheless, if they're in the lead, the Sky Piercer is still gonna work out. And look at this, Debbie. The Lord is already marching down the bot lane, and it seems like Nixon trying her best to clear out the lane ASAP, so they can create the lane pressure from all the three sides. And this time around, it seems like there's gonna be another skirmish, another team fight anytime around, because the Minotaur is so ready for his positioning. It's just the right moment to jump in and just activate the ultimate. There you
There we
go!
go! Fury onto the backside, the Swan Song with the follow-up with the heal as well. That's not gonna be helping Hunter survive, but they're able to grab that kill. Legendary for Chilling, trying to go for more Althea, taken down, but the base is onto the focus, but the Lord will be cleared about. Sakamori able to grab triple kill. What is this game, man? They are able to defend Huntrix.
Whoa.
God damn, that was amazing of a defense. They'll be able to play it out very easily.
It seems like there's only two members standing from the side of
Oh,
right now, so they are going to be able to defend this, because it's just the Aerotel which is standing from the side of YBC. So she has to be careful. But I just have to say that YBC, you really have to make a better initiation than that, because you can't just go into the base or into the
yeah.
turrets and just look for team fight. Because I feel like all of these fights that YBC they've had, they can easily win if they don't go inside the turret. But never mind. Look at this, Debbie.
It's gonna be a blue and a set, another 1 million fury being wasted yet again. But yeah, like you mentioned once, I think they got to be really careful on what they're gonna be engaging on. They need Nixon on the other hand, but yeah, still, is it gonna be a Skyfish, two Skyfish into the side of YBC? Is it gonna be good though?
Uh, yeah, they have two Sky Pierces, so that's looking really bad, because you do want to give the stack to either one of these heroes, so you
Yeah.
can have higher damage. But nonetheless, Debbie, they are doing what they want to do. But yeah, definitely. And yeah, if we talk about Huntrix, they're going for the Winter Crown as well, so that is going to be very good against the Adept, because the Adept with the Swan Song will be dealing a lot of damage. But once you're frozen, it doesn't really matter if you're dealing anything. So I feel like this itemization that we see right now, it's a bit tweaky onto the side of YBC with two Sky Piercer, but nonetheless, it seems like they're competing for whoever gets the most kill, will be the actual MVP of the game. But yeah, if we take a look at YBC right now, we can see that they have built up around 6k goal lead, and it is merely just 14 minutes into the game. All the turrets have been taken down from the side of Huntrix, except the one on the top, which is merely just standing with 20%
Yeah.
HP. But yeah, it seems like the Lord is already marching down the mid side, and there's gonna be another fight or skirmishing around there.
Million Fury will be used yet again. So full has the immortality, but into the background there's gonna be a flicker coming through. Althea!
this is
It
the
was a
end.
kill with the Swan
This
Song
is
and
the
the Ice
end.
combination, but the penalty zone was used, but the base is completely wide open. YBC will be able to win this round. A best of one series of the Queen's Legacy. They will be moving forward, knocking down Huntrix to the ground.
Oh my gosh, Huntrix is definitely knocked to the ground. because we can already see the one who's going to sweep the victory is going to be none other than YBC, Yarchin Bish Club. And yeah, Debbie, I just, hope that I just wish, that they had a better draft compared to this,
Mhm.
talking about Huntrix here, because I feel like their draft did not complement them, because the Florin with the Yisenshin doesn't really make sense, because it's a semi marksman assassin, so you need something that can initiate fight for you, tank damage for you, make space for you, and the Florin it doesn't fit that category. She's more of a support and a healer, who stands at the back and just provide heals. She's not really a tanker. And if you talk about
Yeah.
frontline, you don't have any frontline except the Terizla, and the Terizla, it's just creating a bit difference, in the EXP. Because if we talk about the EXP, I feel like the Badang definitely overwhelmed the EXP, and that created a lot of gap as well. And the Badang was always around the map to create initiation, to create sets.
Yeah.
And that is what they were lacking from the side of Huntrix. And yeah, if we talk about the Farsa as well, the Farsa didn't quite shine as this game as we usually see the Farsa, but
Mhm.
nonetheless, this is the end result, and yeah, the results are right in front of our eyes. But yeah, Debbie, if you want to talk a little more about the draft or the game, you can definitely go ahead.
Yeah, I would say, I mean, come on, man, stop picking the Hanabi. Come on, you can do better than that. Yeah, nevertheless, everyone have their own favorites, and I think Hanabi can be one of that. But yeah, I would like the Hanabi if they had a little bit of a card control and a tank, not a healer, because
Yeah,
Hanabi is kind of a hero that deserved a lot of protections. You got the damages, of course. I'm not saying she doesn't really have the damage. She
yeah.
did, of course, when there are a lot of team fights,
I
but
think
she
Debbie is
needed
being
someone to do the
generous with
front
the
line.
Hanabi.
Huh?
I feel like you're being a bit generous with the Hanabi, but yeah, nonetheless,
No.
Why?
yeah,
Hey, okay, man.
yeah,
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 let's just be honest, right? But because of the last three kills that she had, I was actually convinced that the Hanabi could actually work. But no, it won't. Yeah, back to the point. It won't. So that was it, man. I think that was it. Because we'll be going for another best of one series, but we're going to be taking a little bit of a break because, as always, we're going to be having a little bit of a verification here and there to make sure everyone is a girl player. Come on, man, you cannot really pilot here. So let's check it out, and we'll be back for more. So let us take a little bit of a break.
yeah.
Carved in blood and bone, my power is undying. Blessed? Cursed? What difference does it make? I walk a path few would dare follow. I am the harbinger of bone.
We are the aspirants.
Carved in blood and bone, my power is undying. Blessed? Cursed? What difference does it make? I walk a path few would dare follow. I am the harbinger of bone.
We are the aspirants.
Carved in blood and bone, my power is undying. Blessed? Cursed? What difference does it make? I walk a path few would dare follow. I am the harbinger of bone.
We are the aspirants.
bone, my power is undying. Blessed, cursed? What difference does it make? I walk a path few would dare follow. I am the harbinger of bone.
We are the aspirants.
Carved in blood and bone, my power is undying. Blessed, cursed? What difference does it make? I walk a path few would dare follow. I am the harbinger of bone.
We are the aspirants.
in blood and bone, my power is undying. Blessed? Cursed? What difference does it make? I walk a path few would dare follow. I am the harbinger of bone.
We are the aspirants.
Carved in blood and bone, my power is undying. Blessed? Cursed? What difference does it make? I walk a path few would dare follow. I am the harbinger of bone.
We are the aspirants.
Carved in blood and bone, my power is undying. Blessed? Cursed? What difference does it make? I walk a path few would dare follow. I am the harbinger of bone.
We are the aspirants.
Carved in blood and bone, my power is undying. Blessed? Cursed? What difference does it make? I walk a path few would dare follow. I am the harbinger of bone.
Hello, guys. We are back again for the long-awaited upper bracket best of three. Now we are gonna be here again. Welcome to Queen's Legacy series presented to you by Wardroom, of course. As we have long awaited already, we are gonna be heading in directly into the drafting phase because we know how impatient you guys can get. So we have our teams for today: LCF versus Yama Celestial. But I think they are gonna be called Miss Mizoram, by the way. But yeah, let's see what they're gonna be banning. Looking like the Kimi is gone once.
Yeah, definitely the Kimmy is gone, and it seems like LCF here they are quite aware of their enemies, so they're taking out away the Kimmy, and the Kimmy is a pretty good marksman. I would say can be played as a mid laner, a goal laner, and in some scenarios as well as a jungler. So Kimmy is a pretty good ban coming up from the side of LCF.
Mm.
Also known as Miss Mizram. So that's what we're gonna call them here because they have registered with the name Miss Mizram. So yep. But yeah, Debbie, look at this. They're also coming up with the Angela ban, Yama Celestial actually going up with the Angela ban, and as well as the Bane ban from the side of Miss Mizram.
Mm. The thing is, Angela is whether it can be a boys tournament or a girls tournament, it can always go because you know what, it's always gonna be easy to combo together with an Angela Bashan, a lot of ways to try to go in without getting caught up on, because there's always gonna be a heart seal protecting the heart guard. So I think it's always
a basic thing to remove out the Angela. But of course, the same reason goes for the CC. A very disgusting hero, I would say. It can either go to the XP and the gold lane, and its flexibility is so high, and it can win out any lane, even both XP or gold.
Yeah,
Yeah, again,
yeah.
again.
But yeah,
Yeah,
talking about the
yeah.
CC, I do agree with you because she is a disgusting hero. So versatile, can be played as a goal laner as well, which our, friend Bolty, our caster, he likes to play her in the goal lane a lot of times. But yeah, he's not here with us because he's really busy. But yeah, Debbie, look at the ban coming up from the side of LCF. It's so solid. They have even taken away diffusion out of the picture here, so there's no space for diffusion. I feel like this time around, since they're banning away diffusion, there might be a lot of short range heroes. Might even see the casual, utility jungle that we usually see when girls are playing. So yeah, we might see a utility jungle here this time around as well. And the first pick is
Okay.
definitely onto the side of Miss Mizram there. So yeah, let's see what kind of a first pick they can come up with here. But yeah, it seems like there's just a lot on the table, even though there have been a lot of solid bans. There are still so many options open, and just as I was gonna say, the Yisin the Lapu Lapu. Here comes LCF, also known as Miss Mizram, coming up with the first pick, Lapu Lapu, a really solid fighter in my opinion, and can be very troublesome as well. But yeah, Debbie, look at this. Yama Celestial, they're responding with the Natan, which is gonna be so good in the late game.
That's one, man. That's one. The thing about these two teams is that they are well versed in any hero that they're playing. So we are likely to see more meta than usual. But the thing about the picks coming out from Yama Celestial is that you don't usually see a Nathan and a Lunox being picked together. It's more of a flex kind of thing. You want to flex out the Lunox and then pick out the Nathan
Muscle
into
of
the very
iron,
last minute. And you kind of
bones of
want to have a little
steel.
bit of a utility into the mid lane when you want a Nathan. But I hope they can make it work for the side of Yama Celeste. I don't like it. I don't hate it either. If they can pick out a hero that is very, very tanky into the roam, that's definitely going to be one of the best choices that they could go for the side of Yama Celeste. But the thing is, the first two picks, it's very, very expensive. Like, they are highly going to be focusing onto the late game, and they're going to be waiting on how much scaling that they are able to get.
Yeah,
On the other hand, LCF, they are opting to go for the tankier
Payback
one. For
Your
example,
team
Lapu,
is
a
picking.
solid choice. Now
yeah,
that the CC is gone, Lapu is a solid choice. But then again, the Gatot is kind of weak against
yeah,
basic damage
yeah,
dealers, right? And
yeah.
Yama, they have two main damage dealers, mage.
Yeah, yeah, well said. You have beautifully put up, the way that you put it up. Because the Gatot is a really good tank, when it comes to absorbing damage. But then his passive is totally useless against magic damage.
Mm.
And, the Gatot does not really fit into the tanking category when it comes against the magic damage. But yeah, his skill set is still really good. The AOG can put up a lot of
I will choose
pressure
my
onto the
own
enemies
Your
because
path.
you
team
can
is
easily
banning.
land it from far away and can easily provide rotation for the team with the AOG as well as the turn and the tankiness that he have. But yeah, the tankiness is a big question mark here because there is just so much magic damage onto the side
Sir, what's your
of
command? Your team is
you know
banning.
Yama Celestial. But yeah, it seems like Yama Celestial are also coming up with a counter pick for the Lapu Lapu because they have picked away the the Arlot, which is really good against the Lapu Lapu, has a lot of mobility and sustain as well, so can actually put up a really, really good counter pick against the Lapu Lapu. But yeah, all over I would say that, overall the draft that we're seeing, it's kind of 50-50 so far. I won't say that
Mm.
either of them they have like a better draft compared to one another. It
True
seems like
love
they're all
is
in
like
between
your
the line
team
here.
is banning.
Yeah. The thing is, I maybe you don't know or I won't know once because LCF Miss
Time to drop
Mizoram
the
they have
beat
a
of the
very
Your team is banning.
a very good Fanny player and a Joy player assassins. You got to remove these two heroes and Yama Celestial. They understand what they are doing here. But the thing I
Sun
hate
rises
about
when
the
I give the
Arlo
Your
is
word.
that
team is
the
picking.
Arlo doesn't really win in lane against Lapu, man. If it comes down to the skill set, of course, you can try to, join the team fights a bit more. Then the Arlo or the Lapu, you cannot really go 1v1 situation. But Sayu here is well versed onto the earth, so I'm hoping she will be able to pull something off here. But the
My
defense are
mission
very,
is to
very
protect
straightforward on the
Your
side of
lives.
Yama
team is
Celestial. They
picking.
don't want no assassins into their side because, of course, you want to protect your Natan into the backlines. He's your damage source, he's your main damage dealer, and you don't want him getting jumped upon most of the time by any kind of assassins. And Michelle, I'm pretty sure she's very, very comfortable on this hero as well, so
No
kind of had to remove that. But
invaders.
Hayabusa, man,
Yeah.
completely open.
This is definitely, leaving a lot of space for the Hayabusa. And look at this, Debbie. We are already seeing the Hayabusa pick coming up from the side of Miss Mizram. I feel like the Hayabusa is a good pick here because she can definitely go in and look for the Lunox in the early phase of the game if the light ultimate is still down. But yeah, I think the Hayabusa Michelle, she can definitely go for the
Seek
Natan in the
to
early phases of the
devour
game. The
your
Lunox will be
soul.
troublesome to take down because of the light
Mm,
ultimate, which provides damage immunity as well as crowd control immunity. So considering that, I feel like the only one that Mitchell can really go for in the early game is going to be the Nathan. And other than that, I don't really feel like she can take down the Arlott as well because you need to be well fed in the early game. You have to snowball, and that is when you'll have the items and the damage. So that is when you can go for the Arlott. Otherwise, you can't really take down the Arlott. Neither the Tang, which is none other than Hylas itself. But yeah, Debbie, look at this. They're also coming up with a lot of physical damage on the side of
mm.
Miss Mizoram because yeah, we're talking about Hayabusa of Moscow and Lapu Lapu, a lot of
Light me up
physical
and
damage, and
watch the
the
world
only main
burn!
magic damage dealer from the side of Miss Mizoram is the Farsan with the feather airstrike and
Yeah,
the other kills. But yeah, look at this, Debbie. I did not expect
me neither.
Yama Celestial to come up with the Xborg pick here. I am not seeing, how this Xborg is
Mm,
gonna play
yeah.
out in this lineup because there's just too much burst. The Faraga armor, I don't really feel like it's gonna sustain the
Mhm.
Lapu Lapu's greatest fighter, the feather or any other thing here.
Yeah, we have the same brain cell ones because I am not really a big fan of the last big experiment. They needed something physical, something physical to try to dive into the fossa, or even the utility could have worked, in my opinion. Against the assassin, you can have literally pick out the Fredrin also, but maybe this is kind of a comfort as well. They try to melt down all different liners here, but the thing is, I don't see the value of the Xbox as much as I can see the value of the Hayabusa here, because the
Welcome
Hayabusa
to
will be mainly
Moba
focusing on to
Legends.
the Natan, which is the
5
main
seconds till the
source, the
enemy
main
reaches
reason
the
why they pick out
battlefield.
the Hayabusa anyway. But let's see,
All
because the
troops
lineups are
deployed.
set in. Both of the teams are actually very ready to try and play. Let's head into the Land of Dawn. Ladies and gentlemen, we have two teams into the upper brackets. That's Miss Mizoram and Yama Celestial going against each other in this best of three series. We have them onto the Land of Dawn right now. A lot of momentum is going to be building up for this because unlike the first three games that we had, this is going to be three games direct. So let's see what they'll be bringing onto the table for us.
Yeah, this is going to be a really intense game because it is a best of three, as you've already mentioned. And so, you are going to see a lot of heat this time around. And, these are actually, viewers' favorite teams. So, we have Miss Mizram, which is LCF, and we have Yama Celestial. But then again, Debbie, look at this. On the river already, skirmish clearing up, but
That's
it
gonna
seems
be Tara. And I think it's gonna be taken down very low. First one being drawn by Cat onto the first side, able to get one kill. We might be in trouble, have to we pass that. So the figure is gonna be the safe T for them, but also again from Miss Mizoram into the early phase.
Yeah, Miss Miser, I'm already coming up with the first bullet right off the early game here. It's actually kind of crazy because, the lineup that Yama Celestial they have, it's kind of tanky in the early game, but the fact that they still managed to deal so much damage and take down the Hylas right off the early game here, it's, yeah.
Mm,
Debbie, if we talk about Miss Mizoram, this is actually what they need right in the early game. They need
yeah.
early game snowball, and this is what it seems like they're trying to focus on. They're trying to punish anyone, who's
Mm,
overextending or who's straying away from the teams, and yeah, they're just gonna be targeting those. But yeah, Debbie, this is the first turtle of the game is already up, and we can see that the teams are making their way towards the top lane and try to gang here somehow. But oh,
Ophelia, that's gonna be a taunt coming through onto Suki, trying to get something out, but it's gonna be the Feather Air trying to the backline, trying to deal with a lot of damage, but Ella onto the backside, trying to get this jump onto Remy, flickering away. No level 4 for the Lunox, able to walk away, but there was a skirmish that's in favor of the side of Mizoram because there is the turtle already up, but nevertheless, it's gonna be a re-engage coming through. That's gonna be the final splash onto Ella. Let's have the flicker walking away, Michelle focusing onto the turtle. Ophelia trying to go for the ton, trying to find and start Suzuki, but onto the best side, there's gonna be Wee trying to get a damage onto Miss Ella yet again, but there will be nothing at all. There's gonna be a sandal landing and the AOC as
oh my
well.
lord.
Not connecting, but it will be 3 resources burnt down for Miss Sayu onto this Arla. Yet again, another advantage for the side of Miss Mizoram.
Wow, Miss Mizoram, they're actually doing really well. And the fact that they managed to take down the EXP, which is none other than the Arlot right off the early game, it's really good for them because, despite him being a really tanky EXP with a lot of damage and crowd control, they're still being able to put so much pressure in the EXP. And once again, look at this, another gang. It seems like, their main priority is that Arlot. Oh my god!
Look at that bat with the final blow with the artillery able to grab that kill, but hey, that was actually very, very crucial. But hey, onto the bottom lane, that's gonna be Will Ramos able to get his time. The Spear of Misery will be connecting as well, but that's gonna be the Brilliant as well as the last Insanity Days will be able to grab that kill onto Will Ramos, but Michelle with the trade able to pair another one. Remy gets in trouble, will be taken down, double kill, but there's gonna be a ton coming through as well onto 2 members. Ophelia getting the jump, Suki very low, that's gonna be a Shadow Land, triple kill for Michelle. Will she go for the minute? No, she doesn't really have the Shadow, but the Revitalize will be dead to help. But Cat onto the other hand with the flicker coming through, the artillery, the bombing, not connecting onto Suki. C will be walking away. That was a lot of compensation already traded away from Miss Mizoram yet again.
Wow, Miss Mizoram, they're doing so well. And Michelle, she is actually so good. She is playing this Hayabusa and she's executing it so well. It seems like, it's not a Michelle playing. It seems like it is a Michael that is playing. And this is just, this is just crazy because, me being a guy, I can't even play Assassins like Hayabusa. But yeah, this is a compliment to us, Michelle, not actually
Yeah.
the other way around. But yeah, kudos to Michelle for playing her so well. And I can't even do this. But yeah, look at this, Debbie. The second turtle of the game is already up, and we can see that Team LCF, aka Miss Mizoram, they're already controlling the map so well. They have opened up the map so well that there's no space for.
Never mind, Ella trying to zoom in with that stun. Better Esther will be connecting as well. Ella able to grab the kill onto Suki. That's gonna be the Brilliance being connected. Sarah taken down very low, might be in trouble, but it's gonna be into being popped again. Siren able to grab that kill onto Ella yet again. Ophelia sustaining it all into the backline, trying to zone away. Will Ramos is also into the picture, but not enough for now. And then it's gonna be able to grab down, but that's gonna be mega kill for Michelle onto the shadow kill with the Hayabusa able to find trades all over the place. And I think once you're right when you say she's better than you, man. Come on.
Oh my god, yeah. We shouldn't be cackling up here, but then we can't help ourselves.
Yeah.
Oh, the final flash.
Never mind. There's gonna be a shutdown to Cat onto the hands of Siren. A bit of a gain for Yama Celestial, finding a bit of a breathing space right now. Will Ramos not able to secure that goal creep. But yeah, Siren, I think she's actually farming out quite pretty well.
Oh man, this is looking really well for Team Miss Mizoram here, but at the same time, I feel like they should definitely consider the fact that they're on the lead, and they should maintain that. They should keep the consistency of the lead. But then again, look at the rebel. There's so much skirmish going on. Final flash being popped.
A for the airstrike will be connecting as well. That's gonna be an AOZ use a defensive ray, but oh man, it was a very close call for the side of Yama Celestial. They were about to find something with Shadow connecting. Michelle not really engaging, doesn't have the Shadow kill, but onto the bottom lane, that's gonna be Sarah joining away. Will Ramos onto this tower, eventually taken down by Siren. That's not much of a response yet again for the side of Miss Missouri, and I think Yama Celestial are finally finding their breathing space.
Yeah, they're definitely getting a breather this time around, but then again, they have to really, really play it safe for now because they are on the disadvantageous side. And if we talk about Miss Mizoram, they have the lead here. They have built up nearly 2k goal lead against Yama Celestial. So if they can keep up the consistency, they can definitely win the late game as well because the Moskov will be coming online soon, very soon. But yeah, they have to look out for the Natan as well because the Natan will shred them if they overlook the fact that there is a Natan. But yeah, Debbie, look at this. Look at.
Oh, Suki getting engaged upon. That's gonna be the Gorge Power in the final set as well. And there's gonna be a damage coming through the Ventus. Also pop through Australia taking down. Really able to grab that kill. The Tentacle onto the backline. Suki taken down against Siren. Able to trade it out with the killing spree. Able to survive in the flicker. Helping her double kill for Remy onto this. Well, Yui with the flicker trying to get a connection onto Michelle. Does have the shadow, but Cat might be in trouble. The final slash with the final blow. Taken down. And Yama Celestial able to come back.
Ooh, Yama Celestial actually clapping back onto LCF here. Miss Mizoram, they are actually losing the lead here. And the fact that they had the lead right off the early game, but this time around they're actually losing. And it seems like the map control, it's slowly tilting towards the side of Yama Fisher. It seems like this time around they are quite even when it comes to the farm as well as the kills. And, they're actually catching up really well against Miss Mizoram here. But yeah, Debbie, we have to really look out for the Nathan because I am telling you the Nathan will be a really, really big problem for Miss Mizram. They will not be able to take her down. But look at that beautiful light of the phone. Just save her from that shadow kill, shadow EG of this oh.
That was what SOD, man. Some friend of mine said fear of disappointment, and that was fear of disappointment because it did not land onto Remy. If it did land onto her, it was a sure kill. But nevertheless, the Lord is already up. We right now in a position trying to grab something of a security onto the pressure of the map. But Sarah onto the midst of it, all able to get something over the ring up, and this friend getting torn upon. That's gonna be the revitalizing pop as well as the further airstrike will Ramos able to grab a kill on Sarah. We onto the backlines might be in trouble. Does have the final slash, but it's gonna be the shadow connecting. Michelle trying to go in. The final slash will be used defensively, but LG into the backside trying to have a survive. Suki might be in trouble. Unstoppable for Michelle. Suki able to get another kill onto Ella. Remy onto the midst of it. Oh, taken down by Will Ramos, but Michelle getting shut down upon Ophelia down the line yet again. Remy able to turn the tide around. Cat will be the sole survivor for the side of Miss Mizoram. What a turn of events. Yama Celestial equalizing onto the goal that Miss Mizoram accumulated.
Wow, a rise of turns of event, as you said. But yeah, man, Yama Celestial, they're doing so well. And this time around, we can definitely see the items, and we can see that the Nathan is actually come online already. 3 items, man. Look at, oh my God, look at the
Oh, that's gonna be a Lord with the steal onto the Lord, but Mega Kill will be able to shut her down side and able to grab down to the backline. We with the Jonas, he will be taken down instantly. Cat able to grab that kill, but what a steal coming out from Ella onto the Lapu Lapu, man. Bravest fighter is gonna be what you need, not the retribution, but Suki. Yeah, that's gonna be the AOZ connecting. Brilliance will be formed as well as the shadow kill onto the backline as well, but it's gonna be the mid lane turret secured by Will Ramos trying to go for more Dave. Sarah taken down very low, but she have to back away. The Lord is what is marching onto the top lane side, but it will not be enough to take any turret down. But bottom lane is what Mizoram wanted.
Yeah, Mizoram, they're actually, they're losing the lead here, and I feel like they're in a very bad position. Because if we talk about, oh my God, Debbie, look at this. On the top lane, there's just so much skirmish. And Will Ramos is gonna be the one who's gonna take down the turret as well as you know, send that wave towards that inner shield of the bot lane there. But then again, nonetheless, look at the Lord as well being melted from the Nathan. Uses the anti to clear it beautifully. But then again, oh, Michelle.
Coming through, Michelle trying to go in with a shadow kill, not able to get anyone down. I think it was safe to say that it is time for Will Ramos to sign yet about now for Miss Mizoram, because she will be the sole damage dealer now, and the pickoff is already onto the hands of Michelle because she did all she can to the early game. This time it's the time for Will Ramos onto the Moscow to shine, but one problem once Siren is already
Yeah,
very fit. I think you might want to
yeah.
see the the build as well.
Yeah, I mean, if you talk about Siren, she is really fed this time around. But
Mm,
also, if you talk about Remy, she's also quite well. And wow, I really love the fact that Siren this time around, she's trying to rush for the Holy Crystal. Once the Holy Crystal is
yeah,
completed, Siren will turn into a late game monster. There's no way you're gonna be able to soak the damage that Siren is gonna deal, and the
yeah.
Gatot will be the one who's gonna get melted the first, because there's just no way a Gatot is gonna sustain a magic damage. But yeah, talking about Siren, Siren has to really, look out for the Hayabusa as well, because the positioning is the key for the side of Yama Celestial to win, because they have to really rely on Siren. And Siren, I really love the fact that she always pops up the entropy as a tool for escaping. Despite it being an ultimate, she doesn't really care about it, because yeah, entropy, you can really use it like a dash skill to get out of danger zones, because even the cooldown is quite low, so you don't really have to worry about cooldown as well, and you can just pop it off any moment you feel like you're gonna get caught up from the members of Miss Neat around here. But yeah, look at this, Debbie, another skirmish, another
Okay,
fight.
that's gonna be a taunt, and these is gonna be not enough. But Suki, the Faraga armor will be popped actually. But Zara, I can see have the damages. Oh no, 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 the sustain to try to take it down. But the Lord is all to the focus for the side of Ninja, and they will be eventually trying to take it away. The zone coming through from Ella, as well as the Ophelia is very, very enough for them. But they shouldn't try to get engaged more, because this is gonna be a unprecedented post team fight, post objective team
Yeah,
fights, which you do not really want. This is what I love about the girls team, and they are very, very disciplined. Now that they secured the Lord, they will be going back into their own form. Try to stick to the
yeah.
rules, apply the theory that they have been learning, the strategies that they are looking for, and try to march together with the Lord and find an opening of a or crack down at least two inhibitors with the Lord that they have right now.
Yeah, but I feel like this Lord is not gonna be much of a use, considering the fact that Tyrant can easily melt it before it even
Yeah.
make its way to the base. So the only way that LCF here they're gonna win is if they take down
Yeah.
Siren. Because without Siren, without Siren being taken down here, they can't really do anything. But then again, SOD connecting, and it seems like Glorious Path is being popped as well.
Right, hey, that's gonna be we onto the backside, taken down, but there's the inhibitor that they're trying to look for. No minions whatsoever! I think missiles just have to walk away. What a clearance coming through from Siren onto the Natans. He's still able to survive, but that's gonna be the last hit being committed by the minions. But hey, Real Ramos onto the dead side, trying to get a little of damage. That's gonna be the shadow connecting onto Siren, taken down,
Oh, is this
Michelle!
gonna be
With
the
a
end?
shutdown, the brilliance will be used for them to survive. Remy might be in trouble! With one hit, Cat able to grab that killing spree. This is gonna be 2 members down, 3 members down for the side of Yama Celestial. No Siren, no Nathan. Michelle able to walk in with a shadow kill, trying to do something. Sarah might be in trouble. The AOC connecting. The minions are still there. The last insanity trying to clear out. The minions will be able to do so because the clearance is still out there. We back into the picture yet again. No minions whatsoever. Cat able to pop onto that ultimate, able to walk away with this. There's a lot of low HPs coming through, and I think Yama Celestial with the magical defense miraculously able to stand in this game without the presence of Nathan.
Whoa, whoa. I almost thought that this was going to be the end of the game, but somehow the Yama Celestial team managed to pull it off and defend. But yeah, this is looking really bad for Yama Celestial. But I feel like there is still a very high possibility they can win this debut. It might sound really exaggerated, but the Nathan, I have so much hope on the Nathan, because you just need a really good positioning and one good ultimate, the entropy, and you're just gonna shred everyone. So if the team, they can create the space for Siren to shine, they can actually win this. But yeah, nonetheless, it seems like this time around they're just gonna be sticking together into the mid side. They're gonna try to clear the lane as soon as possible. But yeah, it seems like this time around LCF they're not gonna do anything. Miss Maze around, they are just gonna wait out for the Lord, and they're gonna play it by discipline.
The thing is, once, like you said, the mid-game monster for Siren is already online, and I think it will be important for Miss Mizoram to try to clear up and sync onto the lanes with this Lord, because
Yep.
yeah, it's a Wolf Lord. They will be able to find everything a little bit advantage, but yeah, think they have to wait for Siren in a good picture. Hey, Ophelia, you got to be careful, man. You cannot really be taken down before the arrival of the Lord.
Yeah.
But this time, it seems like if Siren is able to, walk away without getting hurt from the set of kills, I think C might be eventually able to clear this evolved lord yet again. But Ophelia does have the AOC. They might try to engage. There we go. That's gonna be the good pathway being connected, as well as the further airstrike. Sarah might be in trouble, taking very low. Ella might be out of the picture. Siren is able to grab the kill. The lord is still healthily available. We and the victor of it all. That's gonna be the wind tongue being used as well. And the shadow kill too. She'll be able to survive. The lord still healthy. They might be able to clear it out. There's almost the damage coming through the last second. Ethan backline trying to get something out of it, but Remy able to take Ophelia down. This might be a successful engage yet again. That's gonna be Will Ramos taking down one more damage. We still able to grab a kill onto Remy. Siren very low, so you have to try to get something out, but it's gonna be Missile walking away with the shadow. Oh, so flexible with that assassin.
Oh my god, what just happened? 3 members taken down by some Yama Celestial here, And man, I really love the fact that this time around, Siren, she's not underestimating the Hayabusa, because we did see earlier that she got taken down by the Hayabusa itself. But this time around, she's respecting the fact that Michelle is an assassin, and she is going for that Wind of Nature. So that Wind of Nature is a lifesaver for Siren. And if you have that, you can easily 1v1 the Moskov. The Hayabusa is not even a problem, as well as the Lapu Lapu, because you can easily use the Entropy to get into safety. And yeah, this time around, let's see what will happen. What is going to be the outcome of this fight? But then again, look at Ophelia just goes in and tries to do.
Alright, that's gonna be the Shadow connecting, as well as the AOD onto the backline. That's gonna fight was used again. Ella getting a stun out, trying to grab another something, but it's gonna be Siren taking down to the midst of it all. The chaos is into the backline's cat and might be taken very low. Remy able to grab one more hit, and Will Ramos taken down again, but that's gonna be the Shuriken grabbing a kill onto Remy. That's gonna be 2 members for the side of Yama Celestial. Will they be able to defend this? Because the answer is still up on hold. Suki does not really have the ways to clear up. That's gonna be the lowest pathway. Sarah trying to do the best that she can so that she'll be able to grab all those minions and take it all out. But it's gonna be the shadow kill being used onto the minions. Sarah taken very low. She is successful in defending all those minions. Ella, with that, will be able to pop down with the last insanity, taking down Suki. Successful in defending this Siren back into the picture. This is what they need. Another successful defense. Yama Celestial. What are they made of, man? Come on.
The Yama Celestial, the fact that they're still standing after being on such a big disadvantage. I wouldn't say that, this time around they are at a disadvantage when it comes to the itemization. But yeah, they are definitely on a disadvantage when it comes to the objectives of the turret, because this time around it's late game. Everyone has the full core items that they need. But yeah, Debbie, look at this. It's another Lord fight that's skirmishing around into the river, and seems like this time around Yama Celestial did items.
There's gonna be another engage. I've got core power connecting Ophelia, taking down Sarah as well. But Siren with the steal onto the Lord, the SOD connecting Cat. Flying in, trying to get something, but what gain do they have? Because that's gonna be a set. Oh, the flicker goes for top. Flicker for 2 on the side of Yama Celestial, man. This is what the assassin does to you, man. You kind of panic when if you do not really, if you are really in an emergency situation. But what a steal onto the Lord Siren, onto the Tana, doing much more for the team.
Oh my gosh, Debbie, just look at Yama Celestial. The fact that, they are managing to retaliate, they're clapping back, and they manage to get the Lord on their side. It's highly commendable. But the fact that, this Lord is just going to be cleared up by Will Ramos here, because she is a marksman, and she is going to shred the Lord in no time. So this Lord is going to go to waste as well. And I feel like this time around, if Yama Celestial, they want to win, they really have to focus on the back line. They have to go for the fight, but they have to look for the Moskov, because this time around they are the main damage dealer. And if they can take out the main damage dealer, they can easily win the fight as well. But yeah, the same thing goes for Miss Mizram as well. If they want to win, they have to go and target the Lunox and that Nathan. But then again,
AOD and the first part way, Sarah trying to go in. That's gonna be the SOD connecting the chaos. That's a chase coming through. Michelle trying to go in from the backside, but it's not gonna be enough. Oh my goodness, Yama Celestial going away, disengaging. They know they cannot fight without resources. They cannot fight without the Wing Chun, man. Come on. They know what they are doing. No flicker into the hands of Siren, and they know they wanted to engage with that, but Miss Mizoram, that was a good knockoff, I would say, because the Lord is gonna be up here in seconds, and they are having the security and the control of the map.
Yeah, they definitely have a lot of control in the map because all the terrorists are still standing, and there is that in itself is a big advantage for them because they have the super minions, and the super minions can create so much lane pressure. But this time around, it seems like yeah, there is a lot of division onto the side of Miss Mizoram because already two heroes are onto the bot lane. The Xbox being ganged, we can see on the map there. But yeah, nonetheless, oh,
Hey, there's gonna be Suki with that immortality being popped and the taunt as well. Will Ramos dishing out a lot of damage as Perez are being back by Suki to survive still. Trying to get a kill, trying to get the final slash onto one member, might be stunned down, but the flicker is helping her survive. A lot of resources being burned onto the side of Yama Celestial. They have the clearance, but the Lord is onto the focus yet again for the side of Miss Mizoram. This might be a do or die situation for the side of Yama Celestial, and Sarah decisively going in. There's gonna be a taunt siren with that, and to be able to get the kill on the cat yet again. The overpower will be used. The last insanity being popped as well. Mega kill for Suki. She does not really have the immortality, but the Lord is onto the focus. Michelle still alone, doesn't have the shadow. The Lord will be into the hands of Yama Celestial. What a nice engage, Sarah. That was a golden carpet she laid across onto the lob for her team.
oh my God, is this gonna be the end for Miss Mizoram? Because there are 5 members standing onto the side of Yama Celestial, and if they go for a mid lane push, I feel like this time around they can easily do it. It's just gonna be the Hylos is gonna tank the damage, and you just have to push through the terrace. There is still a 30-second timer onto the members of Miss Mizoram, so this might be the green light for them to just go through and push and end, because I don't feel like the Hayabusa can do anything this time around. Neither will Ramos with the Moskov, because the Wind of Nisha will be up. The Lunox will be dealing absurd damage as well. But yeah, look at this, Debbie.
Oh, there's gonna be engaged once. There's gonna be the shadow kill. Michelle doesn't have the shadow. Taken down Remy. Able to grab the kill, but there's gonna be the ghost power wave being popped as well to the backside. Remy might be getting that ice upon the base is completely wide open. Yama Celestial able to end this game. Oh my god, freeing us from this torture. It is only game number 1, man.
Oh my God, Debbie, this is what I was talking about. I had so much faith on Siren that they did not prove me wrong. They actually made a clapback, they made a comeback, and they managed to win the game. And the MVP of the game, it is none other than Siren herself. The siren with the siren song, just luring all the members from the side of Miss Mizoram and then trapping them, with her siren song, just melting the game away. But yeah, Debbie, this was such an intense game. It was so long, and I would say that this has got to be the most intense game for the night. And the fact that this is a best of 3, and this was just the first game, is crazy. And it just goes to show that how much dedication these two teams they have put in into winning this game. But then again, it is just gonna be the ones with the better draft that is gonna win. But yeah, I feel like there was no difference in the gap in the draft, because both of them they drafted really well. But also the fact that they have the Nathan. The Nathan was overlooked in the early game, not gang much, and that is where the problem lied when it came to Miss Mizram, because they did not focus on the Nathan. And as I kept repeating right off the early game, the Nathan is gonna be the main carry for the late game, and this is what exactly happened. The fate of Ophelia was sealed. Ophelia just couldn't tank the damage, from the Nathan and the Lunox, and that was just crazy.
I mean, come on, man. This was game number 1. Damn, game number 1. Who would have thought that it was game? There was amazing gameplay coming out for both teams, and I think you analyzed it quite well already. With this, this is the first time I've casted for so much of a hype game. Both the teams equally good. Both of
Yeah,
them equally have a late game security. It was in the end, it was more of them focusing on side and Will Ramos. Whoever is taken
yeah,
down first, they are actually the one winning it all. And we can see, But the thing about I really wanted to mention is that if we have a little bit of a highlight, it would have been awesome because that was such an highlighted game. The fact that Yama Celestial, they know that they had to engage onto this lot, because if they did not engage, they are gonna be losing it anyway. So why not risk it? That was what Sarah decided, and she went and lay out a golden carpet, landing all of those stunts again. And of course, that was the last insanity coming through from Suki as well. She was able to drone away all the members of the side of not Yama, Miss Mizoram, and that retribution perfectly on point. So I really
yeah,
want to see what the second game will be bringing for us, because if the first game was like this once,
yeah.
we might see another high one.
Yeah, we are definitely gonna see a more intense game this time around. But yeah, it all comes down to the execution and the draft. And this time around, let's see who has the better draft and the execution. Because if you talk about execution, both of these teams in the previous game, they had executed quite well. And Michelle, hats off to you, for the Hayabusa early game to mid game. You were
Yeah.
doing such an absolutely good job for an assassin. You did everything that you needed to do for your team. It's just that, in the late game, Team Yama Celestial, they managed to catch up because of the Lunox and the Nathan, which was overwhelming them really well. But yeah, this time around, it's gonna be game number 2. So let's see, if Team Yama Celestial, they can make it a clean sweep, or, Team Miss Mizoram, they can make a redemption
Mm.
and they can drag this game to a game number 3.
Oh, man. I won't be surprised if they are gonna be fighting, sweat and tears up to the very end and get us to game number 3. I'm up for it because this is such an interesting match. It's kind of feel like I got all the hype and I'm already parched with my voice already, but I'm still ready for more. Let's go. The drafting is here. Miss Mizoram and Yama Celestial get again. Gatot gone. Jusin removed, and of course CC and Angela. It's a very very red side band.
Yeah,
These two teams, they already understand, right? This is the power of a best of three series, man.
yeah,
Game number one, you kind of learn about each other. Game number two,
yeah.
and you know the meta is
The
gonna
map
go, and the
is,
hero is
yeah,
gonna be right. Right? See
yeah,
this?
yeah.
Cool. Method respect bands.
Yeah, this is a lot of respect bands coming up from the side of Miss Mizoram as well as Team Celestial. But then again, look at this, Debbie. A very, very risky pick coming up from the side of Yama Celestial. They're going for the first pick, Alice. And I feel like that is really risky because the Alice can be counted in a lot of ways. And the main factor for the Alice is that you need heroes that can provide space for you, that can provide heal for you, and they are gonna go and pick away those kind of heroes. They're gonna go for tank melters. But this time around, look at this. A turn of events is going on. Miss Mizoram actually shifting the draft and taking
Yeah.
Luna and Nathan onto their side. It seems like Yama Celestial, they're overlooking the fact that the Nathan was the main carry for them in the previous game. But
Mm.
this time around, they're not prioritizing the Nathan. So now they're gonna be paying the price, I'd say, because the Nathan is so good in the late game. But yeah, Debbie, please take over. It seems like there's a bit of a
Yeah.
hindrance for my
Hindrance is what we are talking about. Hindrance is what we're gonna get because Yama still they pick away another hindrance of a hero. Look at this man, Grok, with the wall, with the moldy body that he have. Yeah, that I just said that. But yeah, Miss Mizoram sticking to the draft that Yama Celestial
Yeah,
first had. Now they wanted to grab the Lunox and the Natan for themselves, and I think this is a Yama Celestial special pick. It's the Iritel. Come on, man. When you have Siren to your side, you're bound to have an Iritel as well. If the situation fits, and this time around, I think it's fitting too. Let's see what the others is gonna be picking it because Miss Mizoram they are gonna go back to the Bashia mid
yeah.
jungle.
I
Yeah.
mean,
Ah
Debbie.
man, come on, man, Michelle,
Yeah,
you have your fanny open. Come on, man.
yeah. You can definitely go for the Fanny, but I feel like they're going with a really smart pick here because the Alice
Mm.
team hero and is gonna be sustaining and tanking for the team. So picking away a hero like a Bakshia that can easily counter the heals is going to be really good because if they go for any sort of a healer, it's going to be totally useless as well. So, Yama
Mm.
Celestial, they're actually banning away the Florin as well to
Yeah,
prevent
yeah.
that utility jungle to complement the Bakshi because, support any utility is the most basic thing that you'll see. So, they're preventing that from happening because the Angel are already taken out as well as the Florin. But yeah, I feel like this time around, Miss Mizoram, they might have a chance to win because looking at the draft, I can say that, they have a really solid draft. The counter pick coming up
Mm.
on their side also is really good against the tanky lineup such as the Alice and that
Yes.
Grok. And also the fact that, um, the Nathan is definitely going to win against the Irtel in the late phases of the game because, of the advantage that Nathan has, that being, dealing the magic damage and being able to use the winner nature as well. But yeah,
Yeah.
this time around, they have to really, really rely on the Nathan and the Lunox as well because they are going to be the main carry for the game, and the Baksha jungle is just going to be the early and mid game.
You know what, once I really like the bands coming through for both of the teams, man. Yama Celestial, they know that the Basha jungle can be combined together with the healers, that is the Matilda as well as the Florin, alright?
Yep,
But then
yep,
again, Miss Mizoram, they know that the Basha's literal counter is the X-Borg. So why not remove this again? And I think it's
yep.
also a respect
Oh,
for the
Kalia.
team, right? Yeah. So now the Kalia is gonna be the roam. I like this. I like this coming through from side of Miss Mizoram. This is gonna be kind of forcing Yama Celestial to go for a purify, and the Kalia,
Yep,
whoever she engages upon, will be bursted down because this is the Lunox into the mid side, man. Wait,
yep. I feel like
you see what I'm saying?
oh my god, what is this draft? What are we seeing from Yama official? They're going for a Akai jungle. I'm not really sure why they're going for it because it's not really gonna work if there's not a setup hero like a Tigreal because mostly you see an Akai jungle when there's a
Uh-huh.
Tigreal. But this time around there's no Tigreal and they're still going for it. I feel like this Akai it's definitely a safe pick because they
Mm.
have seen that there's Baksha and that's gonna be the utility jungle, so they want to take something which is similar and can sustain for the team as well. So
Yeah.
they're going for the Akai here, but I'm not really sure how this Akai is gonna turn out because you need a pick off hero here to pick off the Nathan and the Lunas, and this is what they're lacking. And I really love the fact that Miss Mizoram here they're going with the Kalia because the Kalia I feel like
Mm.
it's really smart. Think about
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
The Alex is going to be in the front.
Mm.
She's going to tank for the team. And then suddenly, there's just going to be a tsunami slam who's going to pull you all
Yeah.
the way back. And, you can just burst down that Alex really easily because she's always going to be on the front because of the passive. So,
Mm.
you really have to watch out for the Kalia. And I feel like, yeah, this is going to force out a lot of purifies onto the side of Team Yama as well because, you can't really underestimate the Kalia. Once she has picked you off, there's no way you can escape it unless you have a purify.
That's what. That is the reason why they pick out the Kalea. Perfect analysis,
Five
man. I can
seconds
see
till
that.
the enemy reaches
Ew.
the
But
battlefield.
yeah,
Smash
specialty
them.
of the best of three series. One of the best teams that we have for Queen's Legacy series, ladies and gentlemen. We have Yama Celestial going against Miss Mizoram in this best of three series. Game number 2. Yama Celestial able to secure that game number 1 with a lengthy team fight. So what's gonna be happening now? Because we have tanks into the jungle. Michelle, Suki with the tanks into their hands this time around differently, but mid lane that might be an engaged, petrified,
Oh,
terrified,
right up the early
Seeker
game.
will
Oh
be
my god.
fought. Cats. Nah, man, that was a very early engage, and of course, Remy will be able to win it out because of the clearance that she has.
Yeah, she definitely has a really strong lane clearance in the early game, but then again, look at the clear being such a hindrance, goes in and, chunks down a lot of HP as well. But yeah, this time around, I think it's going to be a slow paced game for the side of Yama Celestial because they have a really tanky lineup, so they are going to have rely on those tank items. So once
Yeah.
they are tanky enough, they can easily initiate a lot of team fight as well. But yeah, since it's going to be a slow paced game, I feel like me and Debbie should make it slow as well because we are a bit, feeling a bit rusty on our throat because we've been yapping for quite some time now. But yeah, Debbie, it's just going to be me going off for a 1 minute break because I do need to go and sip that water. So it's just going to be you for now.
That's once for you guys. L once to the chat, please. I'm joking. W once because his name is W anyway. But nevertheless, that's gonna be what we are gonna be doing right now. Playing out a low, slow place game, but never mind. That's gonna be Suki popping on into a heavy spin onto Cat connecting. The wall is still out there. Suki will be able to grab that first blood. Will they go for more? There's gonna be the 30% of the missile as well, trying to get and stop all the healing that can come through. But there's gonna be a jump coming in as well. Kalea, Ophelia will be able to get that kill onto Suki. The jungle down for a mid laner. No flicker whatsoever onto dance of Sarah or Cat as well. But onto the top lane, it's gonna be Ella trying to get in. Michelle doesn't have the ultimate, so it's gonna be okay. Never mind. It's gonna be a guess coming through the flicker onto we have the ways to survive. She does have the blink, but it's gonna be a zone coming through for the side of Miss Mizoram, trying to stop them for taking any jungle. But Ella might be caught into the middle. The Terizla, it is. It's not gonna be healing much enough, but that's gonna be Sarah without the level 4. But Suki does not really have the ultimate just yet. Wait, she does. They can try to engage on the Miss Ophelia without any engage. They think they
Look at this.
oh, there's gonna be a taunt coming through. Suki might be in trouble. That's gonna be a heavy spin as well. The turtle taking it low. Onto the backline, Ella is gonna be getting stunned upon, but Michelle will be able to grab that turtle. Ophelia with the flicker able to walk away. There's gonna be another engage coming through penalty zone onto two members. Remy will be able to grab the kill, but we already taken down by Michelle yet again too, in favor of the side of Mizoram.
Oh my gosh, Debbie. Miss Me's around actually there. I feel like this time around they are gonna make a redemption. They are gonna make a comeback here because their draft is looking really solid. But yeah, look at Michelle as well. You know, Michelle is trying her best to put as much pressure as she can in the early game here because she is a backsher and she's doing really well. But yeah, look at the Alice on the other hand try to fight down the backsher and not really a good choice. So they're just gonna be backing off for now. But then again, it seems like on the bot lane there's gonna be an initiation very soon. And it seems like they will purify onto our, Siren here. So Siren has to really look up for the Kalia as well. Might jump from the bush anytime around and pick her off.
That's what the problem of the Kalia is definitely gonna be. But the thing is, Siren does not really have the purify, so they cannot to wait for it. But hey, Ophelia might be getting caught. That's gonna be the engage onto two different members. It's gonna be a stun coming through. The Kalia might not be able to survive. Does have the tsunami to walk away, but it's gonna be another re-engage coming through from Michelle. So you have the 30th Persons getting popped upon we onto the backside, trying to get a stun onto two members. Might be able to heal it up. There's gonna be the follow-up coming through from Remy, able to get the deadly grasp, the horrify onto the members of the side of Miss Mizoram. There's gonna be another knockout coming through. Onto somebody here yet again. Remy able to get the kill onto Ophelia. The entropy will be popped as well. Ramos will be able to dish out the damage. Or flicker coming through from Cat. That's gonna be Michelle rolling in, trying to get a stun. Remy taken down. It's gonna be Siren onto the top but yet again. It's gonna be the chaos being used. Sarah falling down. Cat able to walk away. The flicker was worth it after all in the end.
Oh my gosh, Debbie, this is just absolutely insane because if we take a look at Miss Mizram, they are trying their absolute best to win this game, and I feel like they are definitely gonna win this game because there is no way that you can deal with the Nathan without a pick-off hero, and they are lacking a pick-off hero here, and yeah. The heavy spin on the Akai is not going to be much of a use as well. It's just going to create a lot. Oh my god, Debbie, look at this. Look at our Sumi here being clumped up all together in that one corner and forces out the heavy spin to get into safety. But then again, this Alice here, 5-man.
Hey, there's gonna be a knockout coming through. Might be Sarah caught into the midst of it all. They are gonna be zoning away the turtle. The side of Miss Mizoram. There might be an engage. That's gonna be no man. It was a good engage and deadly grasp and the horrify all at once onto the turtle. Come on, Miss Mizoram. I think that they will surely be able to get that turtle perfectly on time. But the thing is, Suki, she does not have the heavy spin, so I don't think she will be engaging anytime soon, man.
Wow, I feel like this break, this pause is actually very much needed for both sides of the team because they've been playing back to back, and this is gonna be a breather for both sides of the team, which is Miss Mizram and Yama Celestial. But yeah, since the break is going on, we can just take a bit of a chill pill and, we can analyze what has happened throughout the game so far. And, we can definitely comment on that. So yeah, I would definitely say that this time around, Miss Mizram, they're doing really well with their composition that they have, because there's definitely very balanced draft that they have. They have picked the perfect draft, I would say, for this game because there's just so much mid game pressure and there's gonna be late game pressure as well. But then again, look at Michelle securing the turtle. And it's gonna be the clear.
I'm definitely remake. Down Will Ramos able to grab a kill onto we yet again. All in favor for the side of Mizoram. They look like they can come back through this, man. This is the, this look like the start. The first game though, the early game was all into the hands of Miss Mizoram, but it was actually into the hands of Yama Celeste where the late game starts. But this time around, it's a little bit of a change up because Nathan is not into the hands of Siren, but Will Ramos might be getting in trouble. But yeah, there's not gonna be an engage coming through for both of the teams.
Yeah, this time around, I feel like if Yama official they really want to win, they have to just back off for now. Like just play safe and just farm. You can't win fights. There's no way you're gonna win fight with Alice, with a Kai, and with a Grok. Because yeah, you have yes the most tankiest lineup that you can see right now. But they are lacking so much damage. They are lacking the damage. But yeah, look at this, another pick off from Ruby right
Engage
there.
coming through. Entropy. Michelle will be able to grab a kill onto Sarah, but Siren right now getting hunt upon. She might not be able to survive, but the Purify is there to have her survival. Ramos, not without the entropy, will not be able to chase it down. But that is gonna be one casualty for nothing into the hands of Mizoram. Miss Mizoram, yet again, I really think, man, I really think Basha is a Mizoram meta by then.
Yeah, Baksha has to be a Mizoram meta because we always see Mizoram, coming up with always the Baksha pick. But yeah, look at the itemization here. We can see that, the highest goal lead so far on the team. It is none other than our guy, Ramos on the
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Nathan. So, the Nathan is gonna be a big problem here. But then again, look at Ophelia. Oh my god!
Eight upon 3 members onto her, getting the stun, won't be able to survive. Ella grabbing the last hit, able to take the XP laner down. So every lane they engage on, I think Miss Mizoram have it all onto their hands.
They have it all, and yeah, this is what I was talking about. Picking the Alice right off the early game is such a big disadvantage because you can counter it easily, and this is what is happening. The Kalia Ophelia being such a big menace for the Alice, not being able to escape from that tsunami slam. And picking a purify as well might look a bit weird on the Alice, but then I feel like she could have picked that because there is no way you're gonna escape the Kalia once she has locked onto you without the purify. But then again, look at Ramos just uses the entropy to try to get onto the other side of the river there.
One set is all it takes for the turn around for Yama Celestial. Zara has to be very decisive onto the tech charts, and if she get on Blue Ramos, never mind, there's gonna be a jump coming through, the entropy as well. Zara might be in trouble, but there's gonna be a taunt and a flicker coming through, able to survive, but Michelle trying to go backline, is getting stunned upon, there's gonna be a jump coming in, Will Ramos able to grab that kill, penalty Joan was able to grab the kills on the backline as well, there's gonna be getting a lot of stun upon, Will Ramos taking her down, but onto the behind is gonna be Ella, might be in trouble, getting a lot of damage, but the heal able to have her survive. Michelle trying to dive in for more monster kill for Miss Ramos, man. Onto the Nathan, the mid turret is onto the focus yet again. What a heal coming through from Ella. We need to see the build right now, man.
Oh my god, Ella! What is that sustain? Like, she went from nearly 10% HP to just back into full with just, merely of 2 or 3 swings of that hammer. It is crazy. But then it really makes sense, that, she has so much heal because there's just not enough anti-heal item onto the side of Yama Celestial because, they can't really do much right now. They are on such big disadvantage. They have no goal, and it's causing a really big problem for the mid and for the marksman as well. But yeah, Debbie, look at the top lane. We can see that Michelle, she's putting so much pressure on Alice, and look at that, another resource being spent this time around from the side of Yama official, Yama Celestial, and the flicker is a crucial spell. I would say that you do not want to spend unless you're in such a critical position, and that is what they're trying to do here. They're trying to force out as much resource as possible from the side of Yama Celestial, and they're trying their best to put the pressure. But yeah, look at this, another engage. It seems like coming up, but yeah, nonetheless, they're just gonna wait out for the lot instead.
I think the problem with Yama Celestial's lineup is that they don't have ways to try to get through this front line. Michelle, Ella, Ophelia, and onto Will Ramos, and there's no way for them to go in. The only chance that they got is if we is able to get through them, but I don't think she's tanky enough to get that because this is the problem.
Oh my god, Gabby, look at
Yeah, with
that.
the tsunami slam onto Rumi. The flicker is helping us around. Just the heavy spin being used again, and the taunt coming through as well. The knockout, the penalty zone. One more hit, and Siren able to get the shutdown kill onto Will Ramos. Michelle onto the chase, getting down. Siren able to get the double kills. He's trying to go for look for more. We able to scout out the area, but the Lord will be taken care of onto the top side. Ella still healthily available with the heal that she have onto the War X, trying to focus onto the bottom lane. But the older members of the side, we have Celestial trying to get the focus onto the mid lane. That's gonna be a start coming through. That's gonna be the villains as well being kept able to survive, but long enough to try to hold on, walking away with the flicker, and the heavy crossbow was popped by Silent yet again. That is
Oh
the
my
cooldown we're
god.
talking about. But what a comeback! Yama Celestial showing us that the late game is what they try for yet again.
Yeah, I feel like this time around, Yama official, they're starting to come online because they have their hands on the tank items. But I feel like the big mistake that Miss Mizoram they made was that they were clumped up in that purple buff altogether. And if you're clumped up like that, the tectonic charge, it's definitely gonna hit you like a truck. It's definitely going to be a guaranteed crowd control because it just has a really huge AOE. So that's a big drawback of being clumped up together in one corner. But then again, as much as I love the fact that the tanks are coming online, it is definitely going to be a hard time for them to catch the Nathan as well, because the Nathan with the entropy will be able to escape into safety as well. So, they have to really look out for the Nathan, and, they have to focus on as much magic defense they can possibly get their hand on to grab everything that is available in the game, I would say. Grab the Athena, grab the Radiant, grab whatever little magic defense you can get if you want to win this game, because there's no way, you can tank the late game Nathan. So I would say that even if you're getting an Oracle, just get it, because somehow it's gonna give you the extra magic defense.
That's what, man. This is why I was actually kind of worried about the magic guys that's coming both of the teams, especially into the hands of Miss Mizoram, right? The magic defenses are just never enough.
Yeah.
It's just that it's the damage are too much for them to handle sometimes, and we can see the goalie is already accumulated by. Oh, never mind. That's gonna be engaged coming through. Ophelia trying to get a tsunami slam onto Sarah. That's gonna be a take Ramos might be taken very low. The flicker is helping her survive with the entropy as well. Charge upon, that's gonna be a heavy spin, getting disengaged upon, Cat taken down, Suki able to grab that one kill, the 30% being popped by Michelle yet again, running away from that onslaught, but this is gonna be a successful Joan coming through, but we try to get onto the back line, so I think it's gonna be enough. It's gonna be a Ringgit coming through from Ella, does have the penalty zone, so he can try to get a set onto it, the Lord taken down, chunked down with the HP, that's gonna be the penalty zone, and the knock coming through, one more hit, and Ella shut down onto the back line. It's gonna be Michelle getting a steal onto this Lord. Suki taken down yet again by a death Ella, by the way, and Sarah and the other team, they have to walk away. The Lord is in the hands of Mizoram, instantly spawning in onto the top lane.
Wow, Mizoram, they have secured the Lord, and this time around they can actually go in and push because they have the advantage, they have the Lord. But I feel like the Lord is gonna be put on a chokehold because of the Alice, because she's just gonna delay its way to the bot lane, whilst other members they are busy clearing the lanes as well. But yeah, look at this, look at the pressure that Miss Mizoram they're trying to put. Oh my god, I did not expect this.
Starts connecting onto 4 members. It's gonna be the Brilliance being popped, trying to have to survive. It's gonna be the heavy spin onto the backline as well. Suki trying to go in, does not get caught in trouble. It's gonna be Rini getting a pawn of himself by Ella onto the backside, trying to get a penalty zone. Damage is through. Rini taken down. Double kill from Cat. He's trying to go in for more missile onto the backside with the stun coming in. The wall is connecting as well, stopping anyone from going through. We entering to the picture. That's gonna be the tsunami slam. Get the pawn. It's gonna be the stun coming in as well, but we will be taken down. Ophelia
Oh my god, Miss Mizoram.
down, but the mid lane is not able to hit again. Sarah and Siren is the only one surviving. The wall is still there. The stun is connecting. missile will be taken down. The base is completely wide open. Siren is still available to help the members take it down, but one hit is gonna be enough. But Ella with the heal with the warriors coming through. No anti-heal for the side of Yama Celeste will be stopping Ella from healing up, but this was a good defense coming through for the side of Yama Celeste, but a questionable entrance nonetheless.
Oh my god, this is so intense, Debbie. I mean, the first game we thought was intense. This is way more intense than the previous game. The draft and the picks that they have is just making the game so much more intense. And I really love the fact that, Yama Celestial, they're facing the same thing which they faced earlier in the previous
Yeah,
game. They
yeah.
face so much pressure. They face so much, hindrance from the side of Miss Mizram. So let's see, if they can do the same thing and turn around the table this time around in the late game. And I feel like, despite them being so tanky, they're still dealing quite a good, reasonable damage onto the back lines. And, the Alice, actually, I would definitely say that she's trying her best, to get into the back line with the Alice, with the Blood Awe, to get into the hands of the Nitan and that Lunox. But yeah, this time around, I feel like the main carry is definitely gonna be Siren from the side of Yama Celestial, because she is the marksman, she is the damage dealer, and might as well sell the boot and grab a demon hunter's what I would
Yeah,
say,
true.
because they are so tanky. They have the back shit, they have Kalia, they have that Teresa as well. So there's just too much tankiness onto their hands as well. So you can't overlook that. You need that tank killer thing. Oh my god! Just look at Wee. She knows that Ophelia is coming for her. She has faced that tsunami slam way too many times. She's not gonna get herself caught up in that, and she's just gonna use that flicker to get into safety. She doesn't care if it is a 120-second cooldown. She's just gonna use it up and not get caught by that tsunami slam.
That's right, man. This is gonna be intense right now because the Lord is coming in from the mid lane. Green lights for both of the teams. Miss Mizoram, they have all their spells available. Meanwhile, Yama Celestial, one flicker down. That's gonna be Michelle with the start rolling inside, trying to do something. It's gonna be a joke. Gordon used as well, trying to get a stun onto the Lord, not letting it nowhere near the base. But it's gonna be Ophelia jumping in. A Siren able to grab the kill onto Cat. This is gonna be one more able to get down the kill onto Ella. Two members down for the side of Miss Soram. Other members running for the heals, but it's gonna be Ophelia getting that sustain onto Wee. Another successful defense, but this time will they be able to try to go for the engage? But Siren is still in the vicinity for Sarah to try to go for the tech size yet again, which she does not really have yet. It's gonna be the stun coming to Ophelia. Have to walk away. She does not really have her members around her corner to help her if she's getting caught. So this is gonna be another disengagement coming through for the side of Miss Mizoram.
Oh my god, Miss Mizoram, I feel like, they're over engaging, and that's what caused the two members to fall down. But this time around, look at. Oh my god, how are they gonna defend this, Debbie? I have no idea, because if we take a look at. Tectonic Sword!
Onto the back line, two members getting connected on. Cat taken down, unstoppable. First Siren is gonna be the heavy swing onto the ball as well. Might try to go in from Ella, getting down, taking down a very, very low HP, but she does have the heal to survive. What a good tectonic charge, Sarah. Godly setup coming through onto the best possible member this time around. You need to focus on Will Ramos yet again. Come on, man.
Oh my gosh, Sarah, she is doing so well for the team. And she's always the one creating the setup, and out of that setup, they're almost getting a guaranteed value, even though it's a one kill, that is just enough for them to get a breather, to get a lead. And this time around, it seems like Michelle, she's trying to create lane pressure. She's going for the, for the split push here, and it seems like she's just trying to back down the members from the side of Yama Celestial here. But yeah, it seems like there's also rotation coming up from their end here.
It is the problem. I mean, the thing about the Basha is that she does have the really quality role flood the place, so it kind of worked like an assassin, but the clearance is still definitely out there. The Lord is still up. Green lights for both of the teams. They are ready to rumble yet again. But who will be the initiator? We'll have to know. But the mid lane got to be clear up for the side of Yama Celestial because Miss Mizoram, they are doing a really, really good job in trying to send Yama Celestial to go back to their own bases to clear up the minions because they don't have the advantage, the benefits of those turrets. But hey, Misela onto the backside, trying to
Yeah.
go something. Does have the momentum, does have the ways to survive the heal as well, the penalty zone too. But Sarah onto the miss of it all, very tanky enough. The Lord Dance is gonna be started upon no engages so far. A little bit of a poke here and there. Ophelia still holding on to the Tsunami Slam, trying to find a right angle to try to go for illicit, but it's gonna be Michelle getting a stun on the
Daddy.
backside. It's gonna be the Rita, but the Tick will not be connecting as well. Ophelia taken down. It's gonna be the immortality that she have, but onto the backside it's gonna be the heavy spring getting connected. That's gonna be a stun coming through as well.
Oh my
Sarah able to
lord.
get a kill after Michelle. Siren with the damage coming through. Will Ramos onto the run. Cat as well. They have the chaos, but the base is what they
Oh, the
have to
base is
take
wide
care
open.
of. The minions are focusing onto the base, but Siren is back into the picture. But really able to grab that. Oh no, it's gonna be okay, able to grab that kill onto the picture here yet again. Sarah onto the chase, getting the run for it. Does have the wall, but Miss Mizora with the advantage of the map, they are able to clear it out and
Oh my god.
successful and chasing them away. But Sarah, man, I don't think she have ways. The execution is gonna be there, but man, oh man, almost a minute for her to come back online. But Suki still starting onto this turtle, onto this lord. Never mind. It's gonna be Ophelia. She have the tsunami slam, but we are behind there. We'll see. We onto the Natan yet again. Ophelia getting a stun onto it. Siren. It's gonna be the lock coming in. The retribution is still there, definitely up for grabs. And Suki will be able to grab that, and the heavy swing will be used upon Ophelia, taken down by Siren yet again. Ramos might be in trouble getting a stun upon. It's gonna be Cat onto the chase, trying to get the kill until we see have the bling. The ways to survive a lord into the favor of the side of Yama Celestial. 20 seconds for Sarah to come through.
Oh my god, Debbie, I'm just flabbergasted by looking at this game. The game is being dragged to such an extent that none of the teams they're willing to give up. And
No.
despite the fact that, this is a best of three, I just have to say hats off to both of these teams. They're doing their absolute best and they're giving it their 110%. But yeah,
Mm.
I am actually surprised by how well Yama Celestial they're executing the game here because they have such a tanky lineup, but yet somehow they are still winning the late game team fights. This time around, I feel like they are the only ones who winning the team fights because of how tanky they are and how well equipped they are with the crowd control. But yeah, I also have to say that if Miss Mizoram they want to drag this to a game number three, they really have to try to look for the other talent well. But yeah, look at this, the heavy
Ella?
swing with that Kayla. Oh my god, clear.
It's okay. No,
Yeah,
Ella is okay.
yeah.
No, this Teresa is a very tanky man, I would say. You cannot really engage upon her, but Cat grabbing onto the Holy Crystal, huh? Very amazing because it's
Yeah,
gonna be the shredder for the side of Miss Mizoram if they want to
yeah.
shred onto Wii as well. What I think I wanted to mention about Wii is that she was able to zone out Will Ramos all the time. That's gonna be the tech shot, but it's gonna be Will be able to survive that onslaught, but Wii into the backline trying to get some. Yeah, getting a tsunami slam onto Remy. The stun coming through, penalty zone onto the members on the side of Yama Celeste and Sarah taking down the flicker in Remy. Taken down very low. Siren onto the run, but onto the bottle is gonna be missile with the roll. The split push and
Oh my
assassin
god,
will
look at the
do
split
being
push,
done.
Michelle.
It's gonna be a twist coming through from Ophelia. It's gonna be Suki onto the run. The panda does not really have the heavy spin. Might be taken down eventually, but it's gonna be the 30%. The ultimate right on time. It's gonna be a joint coming through. Siren does have the damages, but they will be able to disengage yet again.
Oh my gosh, oh my god, oh my god, Michelle, you scared
No,
me there
no,
for a minute. I
no,
thought you were almost going in. But yeah. Oh my god, it seems like these two teams they are just unable to end the game here because none of them are backing down and there is no opening for them to end the game. But yeah, Debbie, oh my god. I just have to, say that this game is
man.
so crazy. It's just absolutely absurd the length that these two teams they're pulling the game up to. I feel like, this time around, Siren, you should definitely grab a Demon Hunter sword and ask for Ramos and And Kat, you have to grab that wishing lantern because wishing lantern it scales with the enemy
Yeah.
HP the damage. So if you have that wishing lantern on the Lunox, it's going to deal absurd damage on these tanks. Just one butterfly deals around 8% HP, so that is going to be really really helpful to chunk down the HPs of these tanks. So I definitely would say that you have to go for the wishing lantern on the Nathan and the Lunox.
The Eternal Garden is gonna be toned down quite low. It's entropy connecting on to the member
Oh,
Suki. Does not really have the ways to go in, but it's gonna be weird to the backline getting stunned onto two members. Able to drag them away from the bases. The lore still healthily available. It's gonna be connecting onto the base. The bases one they are gonna be focusing on. Miss Mizora will Ramos grab that kill onto
oh
Suki,
my
and
my my.
we will be going game number 3, ladies and gentlemen. Miss
Victory!
Mizora with the equalizer. They are dragging us for the final. Man, oh man, I think this time around we are supposed to believe whoever gets their hand on the top, they are gonna get the win.
Yeah, oh my gosh, Debbie. This game, I just have to say that, damn girls, you did not
Girl.
disappoint me tonight. You did not disappoint me with the gameplay that you're bringing up here. I feel like, this is more intense than the boys' gameplay. But,
True.
yeah,
I
yeah. But yeah, this is gonna be just a game number 3, and I really love the fact that Team Miss Mizo Ram, they are so determined, to win the game. They are so determined to clap back. They are just not gonna go and sleep tonight with a clean sweep. But instead, they're coming up with a retaliation. They're coming up with clap back, and they are coming up with a redemption. And they are going for a game number 3. I just really have to say that this game could have ended way earlier if they worked on their itemization a bit. Because if you take a look at Will Ramos and Cat, they do not have the wishing lantern. They could have easily taken the wishing lantern instead of concentrated energy and the Bloodwing. They could have swapped that for those items, and they could have easily melted these tanks. And same for Siren as well. Siren, I do have to say that if you had the Demon Hunter Sword, you could have melted down
yeah.
the Charizla, the Baxia, and the Kalia quite easily as well. But yeah, this time around, Debbie, I'm not gonna be talking much because we're just gonna be heading straight into game number 3 anytime soon. The teams are ready.
Teams are ready, and they are ready to rumble yet again. I feel like we are watching something extraordinary, man. Because every time we try to relax, it comes down to an impeccable team fight, and it's definitely gonna be one heck of a team fight as well. And we don't really know who's gonna be winning that because it's always changing. One time it's Miss Mizora winning. Another time it's Hiyama Celestial winning. This is definitely one heck of a game that we are having
Yep.
right now. I'm really interested to see how they are able to bring the game number 3. Like you said, these look like a finals better than the guys. I said this, man. I'm serious. I'm serious. Maybe I'm
Yeah.
not doing high that time. Maybe that's a possibility. But yeah, I'm very excited that that the queens are able to bring us to this part in the best of 3. They are very
Yeah.
relaxed. They are also hyped up as well together at one point. But the thing about the game number 3 is that I'm thinking maybe the Natan and the Lunox has to go, man. Come on, remove it and play a completely different hero.
Yeah, different. Give us something different. Give
Yeah,
us
let's
something different.
go.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, Debbie. Realistically speaking, I'm starving.
You starving?
It's 10:30 and I'm starving. Like I did not have my dinner yet. I feel like I'm just gonna collapse anytime soon. But yeah, I'm not gonna collapse until this game is gonna be done because man, I really want to see what is going to be the outcome of tonight's game. And man, I am just so content with tonight's game because it is the best of 3, and it really feels like we're heading into the later stages of this tournament where the things are going to get more heated and more intense, and there's just going to be so many plays like these that we're witnessing right now. And yeah, also the fact that Team Mizoram, Miss Mizoram. Wow,
Yes.
I just have to say that a big kudos for you to, bring up that beautiful comeback in the second game where, you did not let Team Yama Celestial to just, wipe you off and make it a clean sweep, but instead you're coming back stronger in the second game and you
Yeah.
just done the absolute best. And yeah,
This is what, man. This is the intensity that war jumping brings you, right? Whether it
Yeah,
may be a guys tournament or a girls tournament, think- but you won't even be getting disappointed. But you know what?
yeah,
I wanted to say something a little bit later right now. You wanted to mention, but this is the first time that we have a prize pool this big for a girls tournament, female tournament. This is the biggest prize pool that we had in India so far. This is the biggest tournament I could say. I can vouch for that because it's
yeah.
important. And as you can see, they served him, and the queens served us. They are proving that they are hungry for those prize pool as well. Because looking at the games they're playing, I will be tired by now. Come on, man. I will be giving up and rage quitting at this point. But they are so hell on doing getting this win because 1-1 is the score and the final will be the decider. And I think Lantina is also in the chat. The chat man, I saw us. I think she's interested for program.
Yeah,
And God official is also there because Yama Celestial, by the way. Those are the two cheerleaders for both of the teams. So let's see what the draft is going to be looking like for the game number 3 because Magic Damage and Irrital ban away.
yeah. And magic damage has been taken out, and I'm actually really glad at the fact that the Neaton has finally been taken off the scene here.
And
And it's finally being banned, finally being respected, call it whatever. I'm just tired of seeing the Nathan tonight. But yeah, we're just gonna be seeing a totally different game. But yeah, the drafts so far, it's so similar. And I feel like, the ban from the side of Team Yama Celestial has not changed much. We have constantly seen the CC, the Angela being banned throughout the first game in itself till the third game here, as well as for the Kimi and the Irritel. So that is, looking like they're so fixated on banning these heroes. But yeah, Debbie, I mean, talking about the Angela, I always, ban the Angela as well. I hate dealing with the Angela, especially after the recent adjustment that she got, where her cooldown is absolutely so absurdly low. It gets on my nerve. Like, I have to ban her.
man, of course, you have to remove the Angela, man. You can't really let go of the Angela because it's really really annoying and it gives out a lot of composition as well. You can combo it together with the Basha too, even though it's kind of a counter, but it's a cheat code. But Miss Mizoram, damn, this is a very very good decision. With Yamasala still removing the Zushin and the CC altogether, the first best choice to go for was the Bane, and I think I'm seeing Will Ramos under the Bane as well. This a decent, not decent, in disgusting amount of damage with the hot tour, the speed that
Yeah.
he have, you
Oh, okay,
can't really,
Debbie.
nothing can go wrong with that. So
Yeah.
first pick is a Natan. Not the Natan. You know what? The knockoff of the Natan is a Bane. So this is the Bane that they're gonna go for. And Yama Celestial with
Actually,
the
that is
Natan.
so accurate. Yeah, because I
Yeah, man.
definitely feel that the lower budget Nathan that we can say is definitely the base with the absurd damage that he deals on the on his Hakwa. I mean, the second skill which he uses, but yeah,
Definitely.
nonetheless, we are seeing another Lunox from the side of Team Celestial here. So it seems like if Celestial as well, they really love playing that Lunox, and to complement this the Lunox, it's gonna be none other than the Gatot itself. But I feel like, the Bane, if you're picking the Bane, you definitely have to go for late game composition here, because we really love the fact that the Bane can one shot heroes, but also the fact that you really need time to get your hands on those items. So the Bane is definitely going to scale onto the mid and the late game to be able to dish out the damage. But yeah, talking about Miss Mizoram here, it seems like this time around they're going for a early game composition that is going to complement the Bane in the late. So they're making a sort of a draft
Oh,
that will carry the early and mid game as well as the late. And they are coming up with the Kadita pick, a really solid mage, an assassin mage that can pick off heroes quite easily if you go around bushes. That is definitely the most biggest danger zone you can be around in the bushes when you're facing off against a Kadita. So they have to really watch out for the bushes when the Kadita is there, and as well as the He's Shin, such a great hero with overall
Oh,
vision, damage, and mobility. But yeah, Debbie, look at this. We are going in with a Lapu Lapu from the side of Team Celestial. So the Lapu Lapu is going to be a very, very good counter for the Shin as well, because in the early phases of the game, you can easily go back with the bravest fighter with the flicker. You can get into the back line and you can disrupt the Shin as well as the Kadita, bait out the rough waves, and that is going to be a big W for them.
that's what. Oh, that's gonna be a respect man. I love best. This is the reason I love best of trees. You kind of go for the respect band instead of the meta bands, and this is
Yeah,
exactly what they're doing. Take away the Kimi because they wanted a Bane. They don't want any other magic damage. They take away the Irrital and then a ton, and Yama Celestial will have to remove Elas. Terizla. This is a Terizla we're talking about. So this is what they are gonna be removing. A hot take though, something is good against the Bane. And I
yeah,
don't really know if they want to pick this hero or not. But for Yama Celestial, if they can go for the Grandeur, it could be good against the Bane, but there
indeed.
is no way they will be able to play the Grandeur without the Purify against a Kadita. So it has to
Yeah,
be a nice situation for them. They want a 50-50 into the lane. They can pick out the Granger and not risk it, but they can go for a safer choice as well. I don't know what is the safest option at this point because
I
the
feel like
heroes are well,
I feel like this
yeah.
Bane, if it's played into the goal lane, Debbie, we can easily go for heroes like Ranger, as you've mentioned, and
Oh,
maybe we could even go for a Layla. Because why
Layla?
not? Yeah, definitely. Because
You
if you can outrange the Bane in the late game, that's the counter for him. You're not getting close around any hero like Ranger or Layla in the late game. So might as well go for the range heroes where the
I
Bane is completely useless and has to force out the
oh,
flicker and
I
the
see.
shockwave for him to be able to securing the kills. Yeah,
I think I know what you mean though. Right,
yeah,
it's understandable why you wanted the Layla. But the Layla is gonna be a gutting drowned upon by the Kadita all the time, man. So
yeah.
that's not the solution again. But it's okay. Yeah, I think you're rage baiting me by the way. No, jokes aside, I think I would like to think that Linux is also a flex pick, by the way, because Linux Gold can also happen, and I believe that the Lee is kind of weak against the magic damage heroes, so it
Yeah.
can actually work out. But they've got to remove the Hayabusa and the Joy altogether. This is a hero. These are the heroes that can literally perform well against the Korean admiral that we have. That is the Yishin. It's kind of a Clara special thing, but it's Michelle who's using the Yishin kind of her main hero too. But it's gonna be the Melissa. I haven't seen this hero
Mm.
in a while. I eventually forgotten her name as well. Oh my god.
Yeah, I mean, this hero we don't usually see her after the recent nerfs that she has received. So seeing the Melissa is quite surprising, but
Yeah.
totally understandable at the same time because you don't really want to deal with a Bane, especially when you're a short range hero. He can easily burst you down, and I feel like this time around, the Melissa with the muddles will be able to provide that long range poke without being exposed to danger. The Melissa quite makes sense here, but then at the same time it doesn't because the fact that there's a
Yeah.
Kadita, and the Kadita is
Yeah.
always going to be looking for the marksman and the mage. So
Yeah.
do you really have to look out for that as well? And I really hate the fact that they have the Yi Shin as well with the Mountain Shocker. He's always going to be opening the map. But oh my lord, Debbie, look at this draft. What are we looking at? We are looking at a X-Borg EXP against the Lapu Lapu and a Carmela Roam.
Okay, so they want a winning lane for both the sides. Okay, okay. Oh my goodness, the Guinevere jungle. Is actually very good. Trust me, man. Even with the damage and the tankiness, he is actually very good. But against this composition, I'm pretty unsure if you are gonna be able to land the spatial migration or the violet requiem because of the
Yep.
traces that didn't have. So just because of that, I would like to say Miss Mizoram have the better draft. They have a winning goal lane as well as the winning XP lane. And the mid lane, the priority is definitely going to be out there, but it is dependent on the mazes of how they play. Because Lunox is also a bit of a hero that can survive any kind of chaos that you put onto her because of the brilliance that she have. So she still does have a ways of survivability, but whatever the reason is gonna be, the Kadita is definitely not gonna be focusing on the Lunox with the brilliance. She's definitely gonna be focusing more onto Siren, onto this Melissa. So this Melissa's got to be careful. The Petrify
Yeah.
and tsunami, man. It's not the tsunami, it's definitely out there.
I mean, I'm not really a big fan of the Guinevere in this draft
Uh,
because, there is a Kadita and a Yisenshin that can easily immune her. So, let's see how the events are going to turn out here. But yeah, it is a game number 3. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is a game against LCF, aka Miss Mizoram against Yama official. Yama's Celestial, I mean. But yeah, we are heading straight into the Lansdowne, and it seems like this time around there's just gonna be a chill out game because they really need to scale with the items as well.
that's what, but the items are important, and this is gonna be the rumble of their time. Best of 3 series third game is always gonna be very, very intense. And this time around, I think Yama Celestial, they have to focus their priority onto the bottom lane. It's gonna be a taunt through Sarah. Have the taunt, she will be able to walk away because this is Ophelia onto the Carmela, which is a very, very tanky hero. Because of the wings that she have, the heal is definitely gonna be out there. But I haven't seen the Guinevere being picked as a jungler against a Yishin just because the Yishin have ways to survive any kind of crowd control.
Yeah,
But the Gato is definitely gonna be a good option for her.
yeah, I feel like the Gatot is definitely gonna be really good for her because if she can land the AOG, she doesn't even have to go for the spatial migration. Just activate the Violet Requiem, and the knockup will always be there. So if they can do that sort of combo where they can catch off the enemy off guard with the AOG, you don't really need the spatial migration. You can just pop the Violet Requiem and the knockup is still gonna be there. So yeah, but yeah, look at this. It seems like on our EXP, it seems like we is actually having a hard time against the X-Borg there because the X-Borg deals.
Oh, look at
Oh,
one coming through. There might be a models connecting. Sahara Cat taken down the first blood from the Roma for the side of Yama Celeste. Early one at that. No ultimate, no Roma for the turtle fight for the side of Yama Celestial, but Miss Mizoram are still contemplating if they are gonna be setting up because they have an expert to the side. It's not really a crowd control hero. It's more of a Jones, so let's see what they're gonna be deciding here.
this time around, I feel like when it comes to the objective where they have to compete for this, I feel like the early composition that Yama Celestial they have, it can definitely put so much pressure because they are so tanky, and on top of that they're also gonna deal so much damage. But yeah, look at the Lapu Lapu. Oh my god, what is going on?
A retribution. I think it was. Oh no, it's gonna be a taunt coming through. Suki might be in trouble, taken down very low, but the Guinevere, they're still able to hold to the map priority right now. But questionable brave. I mean, there was a questionable play coming out from B as well onto that Lapu Lapu. Getting
Yeah,
engaged as early before the turtle fight. And worst case scenario, the Yushin with the first turtle is definitely gonna be deadly, man.
yeah, it's definitely gonna be deadly. But yeah, also the fact that they have the Bane, but then again, look at the chaos being used on the Lunok
Oh.
to burst out the Bane, but then again, not being able to dish out the damage that she needed to take him down. So for now, it's just going to be 0 kills for the side of Yama Celestial. And yeah, just take a look at Cat, on that Kadita. She's always in the bushes, and the bushes, it's her best friend when you're playing Kadita. So you really have to watch out for that. But yeah, it seems like on the top there's gonna be a little bit of a gank, maybe possibly. Oh, look at the Mountain Crusher connecting.
Trouble, that's gonna be the Brilliance being popped. That's the Mountain Circle as well. 2 resources being burned down, but it's gonna be okay because there's no much of an initiative coming through. But we right now trying to hide into the versus, going for a little bit of a re-engagement. I think Ophelia might be getting caught into the midst of it all. Fredo, I think we have to focus on Ophelia, man, because we kill Emma's gonna be Siren taken down as well by Cat, which is what we always have feared. It's the combination coming with the Candida able to grab any of the Squeezer member down with the rough waves.
Yeah, the rough waves are crazy. You can easily get anyone who is squishy with just one single combo from the Kadita. And I feel like this is gonna be a really big of a game changer, when it comes to the late phases of the game as well. Because in the late game, if you can catch the goal laner, the mid laner
Yeah.
is gonna be so good. But at the same time, I feel like in the late game they might suffer a bit against the Lunox when it comes to the consistent damage that she can do with the chaos that can easily burst out the Faraga armor, and the Carmilla as well, because she's a tank without a huge crowd control. So pinning down the Lunox will be a bit tough, a bit of a challenge. But yeah, nonetheless, the second turtle of the game is already up here, Debbie, and it seems like there's already so much skirmish into the river.
Deadly cats! Oh my god, AOZ onto the backline.
Oh, a missed combo by
Finding
Kadita.
out that's gonna be curse on block connecting other 4 members. It's gonna be a stun coming through as well. There's a jump coming in, and they're able to grab a kill. Ophelia taken down, really able to get that kill, but Suki might be in trouble into the base of it all. Ella taking down Suki as well. One member down for each of the side. Jungle for a rumor all in favor of Miss Mizoram, but yet again Yama Celestial, they are able to grab a control onto these bushes yet, but the security is still there. Siren might not be able to dash away. That's gonna be the mountain, so gonna get members taken down. Michelle with one hit, removing Siren out of the picture. Sarah, meanwhile, she will be able to survive, but this is gonna be the green light for Miss Mizoram to take onto the second turtle yet again.
Yeah, yet again they are gonna get into the second turtle, and it seems like there's already a rotation coming up from the side of Celestial here, but they're not gonna be able to do anything because there's just 4 people on the top lane. Even the gold laner, the EXP laner, everyone is in the top lane. This is creating so much lane pressure. And look at the junglers. They're on the bot lane trying to do a 1v1, but it seems like this time around Suki not gonna risk it and fight against Michelle there.
Yeah, you can't really, because the level defense is actually very uncanny as well. And the fighter is
Soccer.
really not a choice too. But hey, onto the other side, Cat with the killing spree. This is the sauce we are talking about, but Remy will be falling down as well. Down Cat too, but it's gonna be the last insanity coming out from Ella, able to get the kill here as well. She's gonna be onto the run. Sarah eventually falling down yet again, all in favor. Advantages for the side of Miss Mizoram onto the bot lane as well. A 1v1 situation for the jungle, trying to get the better of each other, clearing out onto these XPs, but at what cost? Because this time around, Yama Celestial, they don't have the place to end to farm or anywhere. That's gonna be a jump coming through, not connecting on to Michelle. Does have the tracers. I think Suki is getting caught with the bot. Ophelia with the stun, and the deadly cats will be the death of Suki, taken down again. Jungle falling down. No re-engagement on the compensation coming through from the side of Yama Celestial. But hey, Ophelia riding around with the wings that she have. I don't think they will be able to engage anytime soon, but she does not have the curse of blood, so they're gonna have to disengage.
Yeah, they definitely have to disengage this time around, and I feel like this time around, Miss Mizoram, they're having an easier time. Oh,
Hey, it's gonna be AOD, but it's gonna be removed. No, Will Ramos will be on to we. See how the Raiders Fighter able to survive. That's gonna be the jump coming through. Suki able to stun down onto Michelle, taken down by Remy yet again. Cat walking away with the rough wave. That's gonna be the breeder that we finally got for Yama Celestial.
yeah, they definitely needed those kills to get a breather. But yeah, Debbie, oh my gosh, we need a breather as well, because what is going on, Miss Mizoram? You are just so bloodthirsty all the time. You know that we cannot even get a time to breathe, especially Debbie, being the hype caster that you are. You just have to go on and always hype up the games to the point where, there's no breather for you as well. But yeah, this time around the lot is already up. The first lot of the game is going to be a very weak lot, but yeah, it's still going to be a big help if they can manage to get the lot. But yeah, it seems like, Cat, yeah, you're just gonna stay on that bush, because that bush is definitely your best friend when you're playing Kadita, and that is what she has been doing. But then again, look at the vibe
That's gonna be
right now.
Remy. Oh, not Remy, it was Ellie. Ella jumped upon by Shuki with the special migration as well as the viral I don't think you'll be able to burst down onto the next Rockman with the Faraga armor because you're not really a damage dealer Guinevere as well. But hey, we trying to get a little bit of a reason into the Lord right now, but there's not much of an engage that they're starting right now from Miss Mizoram. It's gonna be a zone that they're looking for. Michelle while onto the top lane doing the macro factor here. They're trying to set up for a slow push onto the minions so that Miyama Celestial always have to have an answer for that lane, so they will not be able to contest with 4 members out. But we around in the vicinity trying to provide a little bit of a base, and she does have the bravest fighter, so it's gonna be a-okay if she have to walk away, but the flicker is what she needs.
Yeah, she definitely needs that flicker, and she has to really set up for the team as well. And yeah, look at this. There's just so much space being created. Oh my god, look at that!
Coming in, we with the bravest fighter getting that lore, but it's gonna be another against coming through, so get down. Michelle will be gonna kill them. Connecting to Miss Ophelia. It's gonna be a jump coming through. Sarah with the taunt. Flicker popped. Will Ramos able to walk away, but man, oh man, there's gonna be a steel metals connecting onto them as well. But the heal with the ale coming through from Will Ramos, he will be able to walk away. But we see we in right there onto the Lord and got that one. You don't need retribution, man. You just need a bravest.
Oh my gosh, Debbie. Oh my god. That was such a beautiful steal coming up from Wii. And man, she created a really good space for the team because this time around, without the Lord pressuring them, they can actually get a breather. They can focus on pushing the lanes, and this is what they're doing. Siren on the bot lane, trying to push, but then again, the backup. Oh my god, is she gonna get out here?
God, it's gonna be something else. The Devil Catch is there, connecting on to 3 members, but it's gonna be put down. Sarah able to. At what cost? Will Ramos will be grabbing 2 kills. Miss Ophelia onto the backside. That's gonna be the base fighter. Flicker connecting. Cat. She does have the rough ways trying to survive. We caught into the beast of it all. 3 members onto her. That's gonna be a stun coming through. And the knockoff legendary for Miss Will Ramos. But onto the top lane, it's gonna be Ella onto the Lord duty. She will be able to walk away. She will be able to take down the Lord easily.
Yeah, man, this game is getting dragged, again, because if you take a look at the timer, we can see that it's already reaching to nearly the 12-minute mark this time around, and I feel like this game is not gonna end anytime soon. It's gonna be, it might be a 30 to 40-minute game as well, because yeah. They are definitely going for the Bane in the late game, and I feel like this time around, Will Ramos on that Bane, she's doing so well. I mean, the name Will itself is a guy's name, and the way she's playing also seems like a guy, so I'm not really sure if it's a guy or not. Debbie.
It's a
Yeah, Will
girl.
Ramos will be
Anyway.
definitely shining. But yeah, I also have to say that, even though they have a
Hey,
really...
look at
Oh, the Violet Requiem!
Remy! Oh my god, I'm so used to calling Remy, but it's gonna be Will Ramos. Get a stun, does have the race fighter and the last seeker as well, but they taking onto no one, but Cat is still out there with the petrified combination with the rough waves coming through as well. We taken down the last insanity, able to pop in Michelle, grabbing a kill out to Sarah as well, but those will not be enough. The ale, it will be one Hawk away, taking down Siren. She's on the run, Suki. Rini, the only survivors on the side of Yama Celestial. Still 5 members, still healthily available for the side of Miss Mizoram. They are thirsty for the turret. They want this turret right now, and they'll be able to grab it down. Miss Mizoram all in the lead. 7k is what they have accumulated.
Oh my gosh, their goal accumulation is just crazy. They have built such a good goal lead, and the fact that they are still dominating the game right off the early game till now. And man, look at the itemization. Look at Will already with the Holy Crystal, Sky Piece, and Blood Rage. The main items already being completed this time around. No wonder Will is dealing so much damage. She's gonna be bursting out any squishy member. That is going to be the Melissa and that Lunox. They have to really watch out for her. But I feel like, there is still a slight chance for Yama Celestial to win this game, because if, they create space for Siren here, to connect the muddles and be able to dish out the damage, they can actually win this. Because in the late game, we cannot underestimate the damage that the Melissa can deal. Not only is she dealing alone, she's dealing single-handedly damage from her alone, but it's gonna be the muddles also that's gonna be dealing the damage. So that's like 2 people dealing damage at once, and that is the advantage of the Melissa, but then again, look at this. Oh, the Mighty Shocker!
On to Silent as well, does have the bases around, but no, with Ramos will there onto their face, spitting on them, getting a kill, mega kill for Ella again. She will be able to get a kill, but we enter into the picture. That's gonna be reversed right there, connecting on to Ella, but sees an next one by one, the heal coming through from Will Ramos, able to get a speed, and the knocks coming in. Kat saving her teammates yet again with the knocks again and again. Suki and what can they do? Well, that's gonna be the last insanity of the backline is getting popped with taken down, and this is gonna be the base that Miss Rizora I'm gonna be focusing on. Yama Celestial will not be able to hold on. Miss Rizora with the best of 2 years, a reverse sweep coming through, able to get that win.
Wow, Debbie. I feel like tonight my calories are actually reduced just by talking.
What?
But yeah. Damn, this was one heck of a game. This was so beautifully executed from both sides of the teams, especially Miss Mizra. After game number one, I feel like Miss Mizoram, they were totally locked in. And the
Yeah.
first game was mostly like an introduction for both of these teams, as you already said. The first game they get to know each other, and from the second and third game is where they start coming up with the respect bands and they know what they are comfortable with. And this time around, I feel like, wow, Miss Mizoram, they did so well. And look at the Bane. Look at the Bane, Debbie. Look at the Bane. I just have to say, look at the Bane. 1108 KDA. No debt whatsoever. And I'm definitely sure I don't even have to look at the statistics, but I feel like the Bane is definitely the one with the highest push as well as the highest damage from the side of Miss Mizoram. But yeah, nonetheless, GG well played to both of the teams because they did their absolute best. But at the end of the day, we are going to get one winner and one loser. And for tonight, the winner is going to be none other than Miss Mizoram, aka LCF.
Yep. Oh my god, Miss Mizoram back to their old squad name, able to pull this off yet again. But Yama Celestial, they did hold out for a very long time. I feel like we were casting at finals actually because of the way the game was being played. If this is how it's gonna be for the next best of 3 series, man, I'm hyped. We're gonna be very, very ready for the next time also. Because good story for you, good information, good announcement. We have more of best of threes like this, man, per brackets. It's like Queen's legacy, by the way, so the legacy will be still standing. And I don't think I will forget this game either way. Both of the teams were actually super amazing on what they do. I hope Yamasala still, they'll be able to come back from the losses that they have suffered because they did fight a lot. They did the best they could, and they are micro amazing. But Miss Mizoram with the draft, I would say it was also the draft. Will Ramos getting the hands onto the octopus, man? Come on, you cannot really out onto this Bane. The Equalizer could have been the Granger, but Siren wanted the Melissa, not really the meta, so I think they can reconsider the draft again. But other than that, everything was okay. The setups, the things that they did, everywhere, the game was amazing, and I think you had fun as well. And I'm actually pretty proud. I don't think I will be able to see next day though, but yeah, it's okay because we'll be taking a or sayonara's here because no matter how you love us, guys, I don't think you love us, but I'll just assume you guys love us, so we'll be coming back again. But the next day, not anymore, because this was the last one, a banger of a match that we have. And so, good night, you all.
Carved in blood and bone, my power is undying. Blessed, cursed? What difference does it make? I walk a path few would dare follow. I am the harbinger of bone.